Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. I'm Matthew Cartier, joined in the booth here by Dan Dwan. Hoping to see some good Modern tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good time. We've got a pretty full house tonight, and looks like round one pairing just went up, so we're going to throw it down to the player area.
Yeah, it looks like about 30 players in the room tonight, which is pretty good. We see two of them sitting down at the table now. We're going to have Matt Stafford versus Ryan O'Malley. And this matchup is one that I would call amusing, but not particularly even.
No. Ryan O'Malley is on Tron. I think the green-white variant?
Yeah, I saw planes in his deck when I was goldfishing it earlier.
And Matt Stafford is on...
Revolt Zoo.
Yes.
I
saw Birding Tree Emissaries and Curd Apes.
Yeah, dude. Great deck. Oop, that's not his name. His name...
Yes.
That went over like 5 minutes.
We have a backup match.
Yeah, so that, for those of you who may have heard something in the background there, that was Ryan O'Malley entering the booth, and, somewhat, you know, he's a little bit sad that he's got to, A, play this matchup, and B, he's got to do it on camera.
I mean, the thing with the Revolt deck is that, yes, you have very explosive hands.
But there are also hands that do nothing.
Right, and...
Also, you cannot beat Wormcoil Engine.
And the mulligans with this deck are pretty brutal.
Yes.
Because you end up with a lot of non-functional hands.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes you just play, like, 3 Burning Trees and a Bushwhacker on turn 2, and then you win.
Yes. But Burning Tree on anything after turn 3 is, well, embarrassing.
Sure, but, you know, you don't play this deck to play those on turn 3. Ryan dropping an Expedition map there, but Matthew knows what he's playing because these two know each other.
Yeah. And we actually haven't seen Matthew here for a couple of weeks, so...
Yeah, good to see him here. Sometimes playing Burn, this time on Revolt Zoo. The decks are, like, they're not, like, super similar because with Revolt Zoo you're going for more of, like, a creature combo. And, you know, but you still play, like, I think, like, 8-ish burn spells.
Yeah,
you have Atarka's commands and bolts.
You have the set of Atarka's commands, and bolts are obviously not bad, especially if you are just going face with them.
Yeah, the deck is trying to the deck is trying to power out a Reckless Bushwhacker on a bunch of creatures. And one of the cards that sort of made this deck into a real thing recently is Hidden Herbalist from Aether Revolt. So this is a sort of second Burning Tree effect. Notably, this doesn't actually cast the surge cost of Reckless Bushwhacker on its own. But this does cast Burning Tree, so if you go Herbalist, Burning Tree, Bushwhacker, you're fine. Also, the Revolt Zoo list do usually play some number of everyone's favorite monkey, the Simian Spirit Guide, so, you know, to help with additional red mana sources for powering out Bushwhackers for, you know, huge swings. This deck, you know, you can comfortably swing for like 9, 12, something like that. Looks like Matthew's going first too on turn 2, 3 if you hit the right draw. Like, the game can be over very quickly, and against something like Tron, which isn't going to really interact until the 3rd turn, a little bit worrying for Ryan.
Yeah, you can theoretically kill your opponent on... Well, you can deal, 15 on turn 1?
If you have the perfect hand, yeah.
Oh, no. If you're on the draw, you can deal 18 on turn 1.
Right, but even the perfect hand, which is land, Simian Spirit Guide, 4 Bushwhacker, or 4 Burning Trees, and then a Bushwhacker, that's actually only 14, because the Bushwhacker doesn't kick itself.
Oh, true. Well, no, if you're on the draw, you have 8 cards, right?
Yeah. Okay. We'll start off with a fetch here. Wooded Foothills, probably going for a Shockland. This deck does play Wild in the Cattle, so
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if this is a Stomping Ground.
Your life total just isn't relevant in this match.
Absolutely not. Yeah, so we'll see what the turn 1 play is. Obviously, you know, Curd Ape very good, Wild in the Cattle also very good.
This deck also runs Experiment ones, which...
Experiment 1, yeah, it gets bigger.
Right.
This will be a Narnum Renegade though, and this is a recent include to the deck again from Aether Revolt.
Yeah, this is just going to be a Death Touch Curd Ape.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very solid.
Obviously, lots of good fetch synergies, and the modern format is of course littered with these. So Matthew will discard straight from his hand, shortcutting a little bit with the Windswept Heath. Probably going to go to 14 here. I'd have to imagine this will be a... Okay, so this is a Temple Garden. Sure.
Yeah, the Temple Garden, it's just important just in case you have a Nikado. You can have max power.
Yeah, I guess it's a choice between Sacred Foundry and Temple Garden there, and probably he just has a heavier green hand. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can see. The fact that he's doing stuff pre-combat suggests to me he might have like a, might have some explosive effect here. So let's find out. 2 mana. This is a Hidden Herbalists.
Okay, we got 2 mana floating. We got a Bushwhacker.
This is a Burning Tree.
Is there a Bushwhacker? Oh, yes, there is.
Okay, so this is gonna be a swing for 11.
Yes, it's gonna be 3x3 plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan casually sitting there at 9.
Ryan with only 2 permanents in play and 1 land. Meanwhile, Matt with 6 permanents in play.
Yeah, so...
Rip.
Yeah, Ryan does draw a card and will have the turn 3 card. However, even if Matt just turns these creatures sideways, Ryan's gonna...
8.
Yeah, Ryan's gonna be at 1. And unless Ryan has a Sim and Spirit Guide for an Ugin...
Oh, God. Ryan just gets blown off the face of the earth there by a Tarkus command, bring you to 6, and then the creatures hit for 12. That's like...
No, the
Tarkus command hits for 3, and the creature does another 15 damage. So yeah, that's the turn 3 kill.
Casual 2 mana, deal 7.
Yeah, a Tarkus command is a really good card when you anthem like 4 people with it.
Yeah.
Like in Burn, when you're playing it, you're like, oh sick, like I double anthem my Swift Spear and like maybe anthem a Goblin Guide. But in the Revolt deck, you're like, I comfortably anthem 4 guys and get all the damage. Mm-hmm. I actually have no idea how Ryan beats this deck.
Bliss Alliance.
Not a bad choice.
No.
Certainly better than some of the things that he has in his deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was, Ryan had an ideal start of turn 3 Tron. And
turn 3 Karn even.
Yeah.
And didn't matter.
And Matthew had an ideal start of, I think Ryan's ideal start here is probably turn 3 Wormcoil.
Yes.
And, Matthew had an ideal start of turn 3 kill.
Yeah, the funny thing is, even if Ryan was on the play and he had a turn 3 Wormcoil, wouldn't have mattered.
Oh, because he Targus command.
Yep.
Quite good. Yeah, so I don't know what Matthew boards here. This seems like a pretty good matchup, but he probably I think he's taking out the bolts maybe for something higher impact.
Yeah, the bolts are nice because they can go face, but you might want to... I don't know. The problem with this deck also is like you're very low in the land count, so going into like Fallen Natives and stuff is just pretty low value.
I don't think this deck can effectively board Fallen Natives.
But one card that you could be boarded into is Blood Moon.
Ew, really?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I guess. It's sort of... I guess you're going to have played out most of your hand by the time you put the Blood Moon down.
Right, and also...
It does make it hard to have big Wild Nicottles, though.
Yeah, but, there'll be 2/2s, but if you have a Blood Moon in play, you're in pretty good shape.
Sure. Wait, how are they 2/2s? They definitely... Unless... Oh, I guess if you fetch Basic Forest, sure.
No,
Wild Nikotto triggers Mountain, you're right.
Yeah, Nikotto doesn't care about the forest.
You're right.
It's assumed you have one because you cast it.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, so
yeah, we're getting close to the point where the shuffling has taken longer than game 1.
Yeah, pretty much. That was really only 3.5 turn cycle or 2.5 turn cycles of Magic because Ryan didn't even get to take his 3rd turn.
Yeah, I've definitely played tournaments where, we're still resolving mulligans and we look over and like the table next to us already like, sideboarding for game 2.
Yeah, you just hear like play Bushwhacker off the Burning Tree and they're just like dead.
Well, a lot of times like the super fast kills are with Infect or whatnot.
Yeah, what used to be with Infect.
Infect's. Yeah, I guess the turn 2 kill is a lot harder now.
Yeah, without Gitaxian Probe. So actually, no. So turn 2 is pretty much the same as it always was. You just go Might Muta.
Oh, yeah. Because you wouldn't be able to... Well, I guess you could, like, quadruple Git Probe and become immense.
Sure. But yeah, I don't... Yeah, the turn 2 with...
Turn 2
the turn 2 I think is more likely, like, Groundswell, Might, Muta than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Ryan went to 6. He's got 2 lands, no green source, no white source, Sylvan Scrying, Blessed Alliance. That's such a hard keep to make, but I think he might not want them all to 5.
I think this is better than any 5 in a vacuum. And it looks like Ryan disagrees and it's going to mull that.
To be fair, I have no idea how to play his deck, so
You play lands and then you play big things. There's some interesting decisions.
well, I know what it's like playing against his deck. I had an opponent mull the 4 this weekend. I thought seized his map, then he drew the other 2 Tron pieces off the top.
There's some sequencing and like making sure
Tilt.
you're able to like get max value out of your stars. You're like giving yourself the most outs. But yeah, it's just with like five cards. Like we're really looking for.
Dude, we're looking at a turn 3 card. Come on.
Yeah.
Looks like a keep to me. Double cantrip.
Triple cantrip.
No, it's a map.
Oh, is that a map?
It's
Yeah.
star. Oh, what?
Oh.
I guess the fact that the land was a Sanctum of Ugin was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is sort of unwinnable no matter what, but.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a very rough matchup. But I think that 6 is something I would have been happy to keep.
I don't know about the 6, actually. If you think about it, there's 2 Tron lands, and then there's 2 colored spells you can't cast.
Yes, but you do have chromatics in that.
Okay,
hand.
so this is a no-lander that we're... Okay. Think we're going down to 3 now?
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point...
I think I would have stopped at 5. I think 5 was where I was like, oh, this is like not great, but we'll try it. Like, I was surprised by the quality of the 5.
The thing is, like, there aren't, like, mulligan answers, which are absurd, right? Like...
Okay, well, double Ancient Stirrings Razor Verge is probably the best 3 I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, you could have Tower Mine Power Plant.
Sure, but, like... Ancient Stirrings. Okay, so we're looking at 2 Tron lands, a Karn, and a Karn. Oh, hello. We'll take a Tron land.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, but, like, so...
Think about if this hand were, like,
this
Tron land, Sylvan Scrying, Ugin. That just doesn't seem good.
Sure. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of super non-functional 3s.
This is a Curd Ape and a passing of the turn. Draw step. Sanctum of Ugin, it looks like. Oh, I lied. It's a Spellskite. Wow, pretty good draw.
Yeah, Spellskite's pretty good. That's gonna do quite a bit. Now, did Matt keep a one-lander?
I think he kept a one-lander.
He
He does have a mad go off if he has the mana source though. Because I think he has like at least 2 burning trees. Okay. Oh, we didn't keep a one-lander.
Matt sat there tanking for a little bit, and we were a little bit concerned. But it looks like no.
The dude is counting his damages before he hits.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah, there's got to be several burning tree effects in this hand.
I think that's like Herbalist, Burning Tree, Bushwhacker or something. I don't know. But whatever it is, he'll fall down to 15 here to work his nonsense. Jeez.
So the thing
The
is...
Spellskite was a great draw, too. It's just not going to matter. It's a go wide, not like a go tall.
Yeah, this is a very much a go wide deck.
And...
Yeah, so long as he remembers his trigger, and it's pretty hard to forget this trigger.
All right, so this is an attack for 11. Ryan will block 3 of it, take 8, go to 12. And Matt will pass it back.
This looks remarkably similar to last game.
Yeah, pretty much. Ancient Stirrings again here. Let's see what we can find. Land, Worm Coil, Blessed Alliance, Tron Land, Star.
Yeah, we gotta take the Tron Land.
Yeah, keep going towards Tron. He'll play it right away too. So that's mine and Power Plant in play.
Oh, so Ryan can live the dream here.
Which is?
He can draw the last Tron piece, crack Star, play a Worm Coil.
Let's see if this matters. Here's a Goblin Guide. This is just an attack for 10. Trigger from Goblin Guide will reveal Sanctum of Ugin to the hand.
Okay.
Ryan will crack the Star, looking for green mana, I'd imagine. Draw O-Stone, and looks like he's going to concede. Yeah, he did have outs.
I think he did have outs.
Well, no, because he would have needed to draw both Worm Coil and the Tron Land.
Yeah.
But he didn't have another redraw.
He didn't have a redraw, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, if the redraw...
The Star was his redraw.
Right. Okay, so that's going to do it for that game. Husky, we'll see what we can do for you about the camera. The goal of this was to reduce the glare on the top of the screen, which it has a little bit by my observation, but it might be tilted down a little bit too far. We are going to have another match moving over right away, though, which is great. Good job by Dan there, making sure that happens. This looks like Tony. I believe it is. Yeah, so on the right here, we are going to have Sam Graebner, modern player. Hasn't been out here in a while, but happy to see him back too. And on the left here, we're going to have Tony Skripchek. And I don't know what the life totals look like or what game it is, but it looks like Sam is on the play. And he's on Grixis Death Shadow, so he'll be fetching down to 17 here. So is Tony up again right now?
Tony is up again.
Okay. So Tony plays Mono Green Devotion.
Yes, and we see that as he holds a Path to Exile in hand.
Okay, it's a very light Naya splash. Sam will cycle a Street Wraith.
What is this Naya?
Naya?
Yeah.
Naya. It's the red, white, green shard.
No, that's Naya. Naya is like...
Go home, Dan. You're the worst.
Naya sounds like some kind of terrible tropical fruit.
I'd eat a Naya any day of the week.
Then he's got to fetch out a forest here.
Yep. Conserve the life total. No need to get Shocklands. Probably has another fetch, so he can get the white splash for that path that we just mentioned. This is an Oath of Nissa. He'll get to look at his top 3 cards here.
Finds a Garrick.
Garrick's pretty good. It's one of the ways that the deck really can go off in an explosive way.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't obviously isn't a very explosive draw, but that's okay. This deck is certainly very good at grinding late.
Yeah. With the ability to cast cards like Hornet Queen.
Yeah, Hornet Queen is how do you beat a Hornet Queen?
Oh, you don't. You just don't. Sam here, though, going to put himself to 12 with the Fetch Shock. Grixis Shadow obviously trying to do a lot of damage to itself. The Street Wraith definitely helps, and we'll see what Sam goes for. He has another Serum Vision, so I think he'll probably fire... Oh, 2 mana, though.
Yeah, this might be just a Tasigur. Oh, no, it's a Collective Brutality.
Brutality looks like we're going to Duress Tony, or, bad Duress Tony. So Tony discards the Path to Exile. We're going to get a look at a hand of Eternal Witness, double Garrick, double Windswept Heath.
Yeah, so Tony picked up a second Garrick from the.
It could have been that was his only hit. I don't think I don't
quite remember what he hit off of the Oath of Nissa, but I'd imagine that if Tony had any other choice.
Oh, but he draws a Utopia Sprawl off the top, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, this Utopia Sprawl is going to be quite powerful.
It enables a Garrick next turn.
Not only does it enable a Garrick, if Tony uses the untap ability, he can play Eternal Witness. And
yeah,
I mean,
get back path or something.
Sam's
gonna double Serum Visions here, really just searching for. Okay, so if Sam has a blue land, he can force spike a Garrick, which I think you want to play a blue land if you have it. Yeah, so he has a fetch. So the fetch will put him to 9, and the Garrick will. And Tony's at 18 here. And so then. Death Shadow obviously will be bigger, but if Tony obviously has no reason not to just play Garrick here.
Yeah,
but it will get force spiked.
Yeah, especially with a backup copy, we don't really care too much.
Yeah, but I mean, it is for Sam's sake, it's the force spike is pretty good here. Draw Step's an Arbor Elf, but we'll see if Tony just wants to play Garrick. I feel like you just play Garrick though.
Yeah, there's just we're not scared of very much, right?
The fact that Sam doesn't have a threat on board makes this really not that scary.
Yeah, and then even even if this gets countered, which it obviously will, next turn we just run another Garrick out.
Yep. Oh, but this is just going to be an Ewit, probably going for path here.
Okay, actually, I like this line a lot as well because Tony can play the Arbor Elf, and next turn we're just going to have an ocean of mana.
Yes. We'll see if Sam. I'm imagining Sam's gonna shock to 9 here.
Yeah. So next turn, Tony will have access up to currently on board 6 mana.
Yeah. I mean, assuming he doesn't get just like shocked by, or doesn't get this Arbor Elf. If I were Sam here, I might Fatal Push this Arbor Elf end of turn. But no,
Oh,
Sam.
excuse me. There's 5 mana on board after.
Sam only goes to 11
after playing the Garrick.
Yeah. I would really Fatal Push this Arbor Elf here. I'm not sure you're doing much else. Goes to 9 to cycle.
Yeah.
I really like
This
Fatal
Arbor Elf
Push.
just represents too much mana.
Yep, there it
I
is.
think
Do
you
it.
have to Fatal Push this.
Yeah, push. Okay, that's good. And then Sam says, let's go. But now if Tony draws a land, the Garricks are... Or he just draws a Nissa Voice of Zendikar. But maybe he'll try to run the Garrick out. Yeah, and Sam's going to punish this with a Force Spike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tony deciding whether to attack or not does attack for 2. Sam going down to 7 here.
Yeah, I mean, if Sam's doesn't have a Death Shadow on board, like you make him have it.
Yeah. Sam with a Thoughtseize draw. I like the Thoughtseize here.
Yeah,
you know, it'll let him strip something. He'll go to 5 though.
Yeah, so
Path Nissa Garrick. You take the Nissa and then hope Tony doesn't draw another land and plays the Garrick into your Snap Force Spike. Like I really think that's like your only way to.
yeah, that's pretty much your only line. I don't know if we're beating either card at this point.
I don't think we are either. Double Path, but Tony doesn't draw another land, so it's fine for him.
Yeah, I think Tony's got to get in an attack here first.
3.
And the question is whether Tony wants to run out this Garrick again.
I mean, if Sam, he knows that Snapcaster Mage exists and can be played here, but the other thing is that, like, so he doesn't run it out. But so the thing here is that as Sam draws another Snapcaster, is that Sam is at 3. So these fetches are almost off.
Yeah.
Tony draws Hornet Queen. Speak of the... Sam will flash in a Snapcaster here. Probably target Fatal Push. Yeah, so there's the target on push. And then, is he going to cast it? That's the question. I feel like I would try to block. Target Fatal Push, try to block.
Yep.
Yep, they'll just block and trade. Back over to Tony. He'll play the Garrick, and Sam is going to fetch to 1 here. So any Death Shadow he plays is going to be enormous. But this is going to be a Snapcaster... Yeah, and he can get Basic Island with the Flooded Strands, so...
But it is important pointing out that Tony now has, he has double path in hand, which, I mean, Sam's out of basics.
Right, yeah, so it's just like better swords twice.
Yep.
So the thing with this is, I might have considered pathing the Snapcaster that Sam played, but I guess if you get, like, run over by 2 shadows or whatever, it looks sort of bad.
Well, I mean, so if you path it, push is online, so you just cast the push.
That's fair. Yeah, here's the attack with the Snapcaster. Tony going to 15. Sam down to 1 card in hand. Tony looking for something to do. He has a Nykthos. He has paths that he can cast, but not much else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to do this now. Path the Snapcaster. Sam says, fine. Not even going to search. Draw step. Okay. That's a 12-12. Says go. Tony untaps, draws. Paths that. Sam says, fine. Untap, draw. Fish is the draw here, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons I really didn't like pathing the Snapcaster. Sam's got a lot of threats here, and, all of them are pretty big. Your life total is not under any pressure.
Yeah.
So why are we, trying to conserve it? Like, you're only taking chip shots for 2, and that's going to take some time.
Tony plays a Finks, though, and that means Sam can't attack anymore. Mm-hmm. Sam will need to draw, like, another blocker. Does immediately draw Snapcaster.
Yeah, the Snapcaster is going to be a pretty good draw. Yeah, he's looking at Serum Visions. I think...
This is fine. You know that Tony's path twice already.
Yeah, draws Fetchland is dead. We've got Liliana and Street Wraith on top.
I think probably keep the Lily, bottom the Wraith.
Yeah.
Passing of the turn. Attack with the fish there or no?
Well, that puts you dead to any removal spell or Ewit. But the problem is Tony now has an ocean of mana.
Tony floats 4 with the Nykthos.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to play a Hornet Queen here.
Yeah, and then I think that's just going to be lights out.
Barring Sam drawing, like, Anger of the Gods. Yeah, actually, Sam doesn't even have double red. Kozilek's Return isn't out, though. That's so much.
But Sam's not gonna draw a Kozilek. He's gonna draw a Liliana.
Oh, you're right.
Because we screwed that enough.
Yeah. So this game's over?
This game is over barring a Liliana minus.
Not the bees! Not the bees!
Yeah, actually, a minus into. Is it static caster's not even good?
Yeah, because the queen just attacks
The
you.
queen just attacks. So it looks like we're gonna be done here as well. Sam's gonna
Extend the hand. That's going to do it. Mono Green Nykthos gets it 2-0 over Death Shadow. Yeah, so Nykthos. Good card. We'll pull it up here for you guys. NYK Nykthos. Give me that Nykthos value. Yeah, so 2 tap, make a bunch of mana, play another Nykthos. You can do it again. Yeah, so Sam sort of had control on that game. He just didn't find a threat until it was way too late. And I think that's sort of the moral of the story here is you have to be able to, find a threat to go with whatever it is, whatever other things you're doing. Tony is showing us what he took out. Okay, we got the Spice online. Dragon Lord Atarka, Scavenging Ooze, Acidic Slime going back into... Or not Dragon Lord. Yeah, that's Dragon Lord Atarka. Coming in, Finks, or going out, Finks and some and Thragtusk going in. Surprised that Tony didn't bring in the Rest in Peace. That card seems lights out. It really is lights out against Grixis. I play Grixis Shadow right now. Always have a hard time dealing with the Rest in Peace. Like, when they shut your entire graveyard off, you just sort of lose the game. So, Dan is going to go out into the world, or has gone out into the world, actually, to find us a potential third match to see round 1. We are just all over the Magus tonight. Let's go. Yeah, so Sam also de-sideboarding here. And yeah, so fingers crossed we can get another match on camera, which would be a stupendous amount of magic. But yeah, we're just seeing some very fast Modern tonight. Sam and Tony obviously also playing very quickly. It's pretty impressive. It's like impressive to see that level of competency and pilot speed. It's always frustrating when your opponent seems just to be playing a little bit too slow. So let's see. Fingers crossed that Dan has a third match. Keep the carousel moving. 6 decks in round 1. I want to believe. Match?
We got a match.
We got a match? All right. Who are we watching, Dan?
We're watching Junji Choi.
Okay. Playing against? Martin Sheeler.
Yeah.
What's the game score?
They're about to go to game 2.
Who's up a game?
Martin's up a game.
Martin is up a game. That makes me happy because you know what Martin plays?
I have no idea what. Oh, is he
Martin
on Tez?
Martin plays Whir of Invention Tezerator. Let's go. So Whir of Invention, for those of you who are not aware.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that game 1 has lasted so long because
it takes a long time for the Tez deck to kill.
Well, Junji is on Storm.
Oh, what?
So
how did he not just free roll game 1?
Yes. I
actually don't understand. We're gonna have to talk to Junji about this one.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's the thing. Like, I'm a little confused how game 1 lasted so long, but I guess Martin has a lot of disruptive artifacts in his deck.
Probably has Grafdigger's Cages in the main board.
He might have Grafdiggers in the main.
Actually, I'm almost certain he does.
He might have Relics in the main.
Yeah.
Ensnaring Bridge doesn't do a whole lot in this matchup, but it can prevent you from dying to an empty kill.
Yeah, that's fair. I personally am not really sold on that. I would be much more afraid of the Grape Shot. I'm sure Martin probably has Surgicals in the board too, but I am
for a game 1 though, it's a little bit surprising.
Yeah. I am interested to hear how that happened because frankly, when I hear the words Tezerator versus Storm, the first thing that comes to mind with you do the word association things is free roll for Storm. Mm-hmm. I assume it's okay. This is the only Storm deck. Can you imagine what it must be like to be Wizards right now and be like, hey, Storm, we printed a busted mechanic and we banned it a bunch, and then people were like, nah, we'll still play it. We still have Seething Song. And they're like, no, we'll ban Seething Song and Rite of Flame. Like, nah, dude, we'll still play it. We'll even play Pyromancer's Ascension. Wizards is like, okay, will ban Gitaxian Probe. Like, not just to hurt you, but it does do a lot of damage to your deck. But we also printed Baral, and then the Storm players are like, great, we're still awesome at this game. And it's like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, you're missing some key cards that aren't in this deck as well.
Yeah.
You don't have Preordain.
Yeah, right. No, they've banned Preordain, they've banned Probe, they've banned Seething Song, they've banned Rite of Flame.
I mean, admittedly, like, you know, cards like Preordain, not necessarily targeted towards Storm, but just, you know, the power of the card.
Combo decks in general.
Yeah.
Get a little bit too much consistency out of that. But, like, if you look at Moto, you look at MTG Goldfish's, like, modern metagame breakdown, Storm is one of the highest. Storm is tier 1 again.
But you got to remember also the Moto metagame is a little bit skewed. It's skewed toward decks that are fast and skewed toward decks that are cheap.
Sure, but
And Storm is both.
But here's something I will say, though, is that, like, at what point does the Moto metagame become sort of, like, the primary one we look at? I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, there's not a single modern GP within 1,000 miles of where we live other than Vegas between now and December.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, sure, the larger paper modern meta might not have, like, this much Storm in it, but the only data that we can get these days is from Moto because there's just no big modern events anymore. Like, you have the classics and stuff, obviously, but, like, there's a lot of games being played on Moto, and I think that's, like, not an unreliable thing to look at.
No, absolutely.
Genji's going to double top a scry of Goblin Electromancer Mountain. Does have a Blood Moon in hand, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I imagine, actually, you know what I think is going to happen is he's going to go Blood Moon turn 2 off a Ritual. Because he kept the Mountain top. I mean, I guess he's just looking to hit a land drop, but, like, I would just...
So the problem with that line is all of a sudden we cut ourselves off of blue. And that's not insignificant.
That's fair. Rit? Storm count 1, Blood Moon.
Storm count 2. Does Martin have a Spell Pierce?
No. The question, does Junji have an island, though? You were right, because he can't play the Electromancer.
But that's fine, like...
But Martin has basic swamp, so... Oh, and a Pentad Prism?
Oh, man.
Oh, Junji learning the hard pun... Oh, Vandal Blast, though.
Yeah, the Vandal Blast looks pretty good.
It's a Shattering Spree.
I mean, still fine.
Yeah. He has Manamorphose. Okay,
Finds
any
the
natural
island?
drew an island? Dumb.
Okay, so it'll be interesting what colors he floated. It looks like he might have done double red.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Electromancer on board, passes a turn back to Martin. Genji talking to him about what he did with his... Oh. Maybe he did make blue-red? Unclear. The island draw, though, pretty good for Genji. I guess it's a good response to Martin having basic swamp.
Yeah, well, I mean, more than basic swamp, Martin has 2 colors off this Pentad Prism.
His Pentad Prism is going to put a Tezerator into play, I believe. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, buckle my Tezerator. Oh, wait, no. Collective Brutality, discarding Flooded Strand. Ooh, this is actually quite good.
Yeah.
Gets to do
So we're going to do a Duress and -2/-2 to...
Yeah. Notably, Baral does not die to this.
Yeah.
So you take gifts here, not close.
The gifts is obviously quite powerful. The Vandal Blast, though, is going to... Oh, no, Shattering Spree. It's going to do a number on...
Yeah, it's Replicate Red. Mm-hmm. But this doesn't... Like, this... I believe Welding Jar gets around this? I actually don't know.
We'll bring up the text on
because it actually is multiple instances of the spell.
Yeah, if it's multiple instances, Welding Jar will not get around it.
Hold on, the keyboard's being wonky. 1 sec. Great. Yeah, we're having some keyboard questionable difficulty. There we go.
Alright, Martin's gonna play a tapped mountain. And we're going to play Tezerator here.
And we do just get to cantrip. The other thing that this Tezerator can do, though, is really pressure Junji's life total by making a 5/5.
Yeah, so the Shattering Spree will be able to get around the Welding Jar. All you have to do is target the same artifact multiple times. Mm-hmm. And then the Regeneration Shield will only prevent the first one.
Yeah. Now, yeah, Martin is choosing whether to plus or minus. He'll plus. Look at the top 5 cards. Choose an artifact and reveal it. I'll pull up Tezerator here.
Yeah, this incredible
reveals Nile Spellbomb. Pass the turn. Genji draws. Finds a Manamorphose. Can make 4 goblins, I guess, if he wants to. Can also do a bunch of Shattering Sprees. Oh, wait, he's going to just double Manamorphose and maybe 6 goblins?
Does he have...
Okay, some question about what colors Metamorphose is, but that seems to have gone over fine.
I think Martin wanted to remind Junji that Spire Bluff couldn't tap for blue, and Junji was like, "Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, this doesn't...
Double red still cast Metamorphose."
Yep. Junji with a land.
So we can go...
You can also cast one copy of Shattering Spree.
Yeah, we can go Shattering Spree.
This is 4 goblins, though.
Yeah, and
see, I kind of like... I sort of prefer one Shattering Spree, even if it'll just get negated by the Welding Jar, because then you have 6 goblins, and if a Tezerator makes a 5/5, you're still going to kill the Tezerator.
Yeah, I mean, the Welding Jar is going to get a lot of value going forward, though, because now we're going to be able to kill 3 artifacts.
Sure.
Which is not insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, like, Martin doesn't have any meaningful artifacts right now.
He doesn't have Ensnaring Bridge critically.
Right, and having Shattering Spree in hand means that Martin can't really use the minus ability profitably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess if he minuses, it just gets targeted by multiple copies and dies.
Right.
Martin with a Whir of Invention and a Fatal Push in hand. Whir of Invention, laughably uncastable.
No, Whirl of Invention
Whir of
completely
Invention,
castable
no,
right now.
you need triple blue.
Yeah, we've got 4 blue sources on board. Oh, 3, I guess.
Gross. Oh, you're right. Oh, the Pentad Prisms are the blue.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, the Pentad Prisms are great because you can tap them too. Martin actually has Whir for Bridge, but again, Shattering Spree is in Genji's hand.
Mm-hmm.
An attack for 4 will put Tezerator to 1, and Martin will untap. Is there like an artifact that does like a Tooth Collector effect where it minuses their board? Like -1/-1 till end of turn.
Not as an artifact, I don't think. You know, there is some argument for Martin taking the Shattering Spree there instead of the gifts.
Yeah. Yeah, because you killed his Electromancer, so
yeah,
like...
So Junji will only be able to do fair things with gifts, so it means taking the entire turn off. Admittedly, Martin didn't have an answer to the gifts, but,
yeah,
he had a couple activations of Tezerator to find one.
Mm-hmm. Contagion Engine. Greg Pino in the chat with some knowledge. Yes.
Ooh, yes, Contagion Engine.
But also, as Greg says, kind of unreasonable. I don't know what the... Oh, yeah, wait, it's so expensive.
Yeah, I mean...
It is...
You're playing a Whirl deck, so you can't have one of.
Martin will minus and turn a Pentad Prism into a 5/5, though. Probably just going to pressure some life totals here. Beep. Junji says, fine, go to 15. Mana... I guess holding the Shattering Spree was right by Junji.
Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Junji gonna tap 2 mana here.
We have
and cast a Desperate Ritual. What's he doing? What's he doing? Oh, he has another copy of Empty the Warrens in his hand.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Do it.
3 mana floating.
Mm-hmm.
I think Junji's gonna probably cast the Shattering Spree replicated on the Pentad Prism that's animated.
Sure.
And then
still 3 floating. So target the Spell Bomb, double target the Pentad Prism.
no, I think it's only replicated once.
Oh, so the Pentad Prism's gonna live.
Yeah, Martin can make it live. Martin can also
Is he going to draw a card here? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to.
That seems not great to me. I think Martin should have drawn a card. Junji's going to cast another Empty here. This one for 6 Goblin tokens.
So one reason that Martin might not have drawn a card there is because he wants to use Whirl this turn. But if he was going to use Whirl...
Oh. I feel like I prefer to draw a card rather than push a Goblin.
Yeah. Because there's currently 9 goblins in play.
Yes. This is like a 3-turn clock, roughly.
Yeah, we're going to be looking for some help, unless Martin can go Hellbent here.
If he can go Hellbent and get a bridge, it's fine.
Well, the Whirl means he can definitely get a bridge, right?
You're right, yeah.
So long as he remembers that he can do it off of the Pentad Prisms.
Yeah, although the chat is pointing out that the ritual should be should be exiled here because Shattering Spree is a sorcery. So yeah, no, the ritual should be exiled, and the
Shattering Spree should not, though.
Yes, that's correct. Let's see here. So Junji is an attack with 8 goblins coming across. Martin goes to 12. Junji pretty well set up to profitably race. But Martin here going to pull the counters off, going to tap 2, and going to whir. What are we whirring for on 2? I don't know if you're seeing this, but Martin just whirred for a ratchet bomb.
Oh, yes. That is one way to get
And also killed all the goblins with it.
Yes,
and also drew a Mox Opal. And also attacked Junji for 5. So we were like, how do we kill 1/1s? Oh, you just ratchet bomb them off the map.
So I'm a little surprised why Junji didn't kill this 5/5.
Yeah. There'd be, like, no pressure. I mean, another Tezerator oh, wait, this is just a lethal attack. That's going to do it. Martin Sheeler gets it. Wow, these are, like, the 3 fastest Masters of Magic I've ever watched. See if there's another match, Dan.
Get a 4th match, yeah.
Yeah. CW8 Smith, I have no idea why he pushed him. Probably just like, oh, there's nothing better to do with this, but would agree. That's going to do it. As we just saw, Tezerator does have ways to beat Giftstorm. The Collective Brutality killing the Electromancer coming up huge there. Junji probably would have been able to go off relatively shortly after casting that, or at least make like a bigger empty. But, yeah. Jeez. Basic Swamp, good card indeed. So we'll see. Hopefully Dan can get us another match. If not, we'll be talking about the Classic. AK Cracker, I don't think there's anyone playing Affinity. It would have to be somewhere I didn't see and I was walking around during, like, right before the first round. So possibly, but unlikely. But the fact that Dan has been gone so long means that either he's looking at every single table and no one has anything, or he's, telling someone what the procedure is for getting on the stream setup. So Martin's board looks like, okay, Ratchet Bomb, really good. I can't tell what that card is in the middle there, but Grafdigger's Cage, Collective Brutality, Thoughtseize. Do you have a match?
We did not have a match.
Okay, that's fine. We only watched 6 decks. We can throw it back to us for a little bit.
Yeah, 3 matches still with 10 minutes left. That's got to be some sort of record for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We went really fast through those, and we finally have a Modern event that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So
and going down to the field, I spoke to Junji, and he wasn't aware of the Shattering Spree interaction with Welding Jar. So
okay, yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. Actually, that would have been critical because the Pentad Prism also represented the 3rd blue source.
Yeah. Yikes! Wouldn't have gotten Ratchet Bombed either.
Well, no. Although, admittedly, Martin could just chord for the
in response.
Yeah, chord for the world in response.
Yeah, chord for the Ratchet Bomb response. That's fair. But so we're looking at the Modern Classic from SCG this weekend. Ad Nauseam continuing to be a very good deck. Sort of has gone on the rise, especially since Infect fell off. This deck got way better.
Yeah, Infect certainly
better.
one of the worst matchups for Ad Nauseam.
It turns out that you can't win when you have a Phyrexian Unlife out and they just hit you for 10 points.
You have no removal, no interaction, and outside pact negation, Phyrexian Unlife, and Angel's Grace. Neither of those cards do anything.
Yeah. Dude, I do love these Ad Naus decks, though, because they play stuff like Godhead of Awe, which I'll put on here. It's like, I don't even know, this card, what is it for? The effect is obviously pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, only Ad Naus could cast this card regularly. You're like, Lotus Bloom for blue, Gemstone Mine for more.
Sure. As you can cast it on turn 3. Turn 4.
Turn 4. You could if you want. I mean, that's not that fast. But, this is just I guess if creature decks don't have removal, Like this doesn't deal with their abilities; it just deals with their power and toughness.
Yeah,
So.
right. So maybe this is a Death Shadow tech. I'm a little bit.
I'm a bit confused by it too, but whatever. This dude won a classic, so he's probably pretty good at Magic.
Sure.
Also, so this top 8 is actually kind of hilarious, right? So we have Ad Nauseum in first, Skred, Burn, Elves Burn, Red White Prison, Eldrazi Tron.
Fun interactive Magic all around.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised that the Eldrazi Tron and the Red White Prison went out as early as they did in this top 8, because you feel like Chalice on 1 is a pretty good thing against a lot of these decks.
Yeah, I mean, Chalice on 1, quite good, but sometimes you don't have it.
This is true. Sometimes you also just beat it. If you derev their Chalice, it's like... we're referring to Destructive Revelry here.
Right. You have access to very powerful cards, but... sometimes you don't draw it. Even if you board in 4, no guarantees there.
Yeah, I mean, Eldrazi Tron and Red White Prison... the Red White Prison deck, actually, playing some new tech from Mtgcard, Cast Out. Seems like a really good card in this deck. Like, it's an O-ring effect, but you can also... But the cycling critically. This deck has so many hands where you're just like, why do I have the wrong, like, third of my deck in my hand? And the answer is... You don't anymore because you're... Ooh, that's not Cast Out. That's Outcast. There we go. That's Cast Out. Yeah, so this card expected to see pretty heavy standard play.
Yeah, just because of how flexible it is. The cycling, obviously excellent. And the 4 mana, this is a way to kill, a Gideon,
It kills... I mean, it kills everything.
Yes.
But the cycling makes it... Like, if this didn't have cycling, it probably wouldn't be super playable.
This is super unplayable without cycling.
But, like, when you can dig for your land drop on turn 3 with this, I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. Looking at the Eldrazi Tron list, everything seems normal.
Yeah, pretty standard Eldrazi Tron list.
I do really like the card All Is Dust. Like, just as a card in general, I think it's really cool. But, man, when you get All Is Dusted and you're about to win the game, it feels bad. Especially because it's like tap 5 lands Plague Wind you usually.
Unless you have Sigarda out.
Sure, yes. Sigarda beats All Is Dust, Dan. Good point.
I mean, it's important interaction. But yeah, well, one thing that the Eldrazi Tron deck really suffers from, though, is consistency. Because you don't have nearly as many search effects for your lands.
Right.
So, you having Tron on turn 3, much harder to do.
The thing is, though, is that the deck is not, like... Sure, it can play, it can have, like, fast Tron draws, which, like, give it a lot of mana very early, but it's not like, it can play a game of, like, ramp a little bit with Mind Stones and Eldrazi Temples. Instead, like, a lot of the time you actually map for Temple.
Right.
And you just, like, accelerate out Smashers, Seers, big Walking Ballistas, Endbringer is very good and very castable when you have a couple Temples.
Right, the Temple is just much... has a much higher immediate impact.
Yeah.
Turning on Tron, obviously, when you do it, you can do, like, absurd things. Especially with
Ballista for 5 is pretty good.
Yeah, but, short of that, it's just, you're just playing, like, an Eldrazi deck without Ancient Historians.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly, is
can lead
a
to some
significant
pretty
concession.
It can lead to some pretty bad, like, oh, I just didn't draw cards that mattered.
Right.
So, looking further down the list here, this is a straight green-black rock deck.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of rock decks just because...
With 1 Traverse the Ulvenwald and 2 Mishra's Bauble.
Yeah, so not...
Seems maybe wrong.
Well, I mean, so you don't have to devote the full slots to enable Delirium. And a lot of times you're just going to have it naturally online. John often has a 4 or 5 Goyf just from your own graveyard. And, that's without playing cards like Mishra's Bauble and that nonsense. And, yeah, if you have a Traverse, it's a land if you need it, or you wait late. It's, another Goyf.
Right. This... The green-black deck's just playing straight green-black. Like, you can play lands like Ghost Quarter. This one's playing Hissing Quagmire. You can also play, like, Treetop Village, too.
Yeah, one of the biggest boons of playing a 2-color deck is you have slots now for Ghost Quarter.
Which is still quite good, yeah. Let's see. Scrolling further, a traditional Jundulus actually made it into the top 16. This one playing no Lightning Bolt, which is at, sort of a historic low in the format, but playing like 4 Fatal Push and 4 Terminate.
Right.
That's a lot of removal.
There's a lot of removal, but you gotta remember you're replacing your bolts.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that seems, it seems like a reasonable swap to make. You just have 8 things that generally say just like kill whatever it is that's in front of you.
Sure. And that is a game plan that's viable against a lot of decks. In the
thing is that the Jund Shadow decks and the Grixis Shadow decks are relatively threat light, right? Like, Jund Shadow especially only has like 8 cards that actually attack.
Yes.
So like,
admittedly you have 4 traverses that can find the same 8.
Right, but like, you're the more spot removal you play, like if you kill all their creatures, they can't traverse for more, right? Obviously
exactly.
That's a little bit absurd, but you get what I'm saying.
No, absolutely.
One deck though that I am sort of excited to talk about from this came in 19th, piloted by Kevin Page, called Counters Company, and we're gonna link it in the chat. So there is a new infinite combo thanks to this card in Mtgcard. Vizier of Remedies. So this sort of, this A goes infinite with Viserys here and Kitchen Finks. Nothing new there.
Yep. So this means that you can.
You don't have to play Anafenza for white anymore.
You can have infinite mana on turn 3.
Well, haha. If everyone clicks the link that we posted, though,
unless you send me a spirit guide.
Yes.
Something out.
So this Vizier of Remedies combos with. It's just a 2 card for infinite mana. So Devoted Druid here. This makes infinite mana because...
Well, we should clarify infinite green mana.
Infinite green mana, sure. But, like, what's better than, in the color of Ramp, having infinite green? So, yeah, anyways, Vizier of Remedies combos with Devoted Druid to not put the counter on Devoted Druid. So you just can keep tapping it forever. And then you do one of 2 things. Well, actually, like, one of 3 things. First off, you cast Chord of Calling, and you get a Duskwatch Recruiter. Or you play a Duskwatch Recruiter from your hand. So, Duskwatch Recruiter.
Yeah,
then you cycle through your whole deck. You find a Walking Ballista, and with your infinite mana, you make an infinite ballista big enough to kill them. Seems great.
Seems easy enough.
This guy was so in on the combo, though. Like, Simeon's Spirit Guide? This deck literally has no red cost. It's just, we want Lotus Petal turn 1 to play Devoted Druid.
Yeah, and certainly the combo might be a little too narrow to want to accelerate, in my opinion.
Sure.
But, hey, it certainly is something that can work. Ooh.
Yeah.
And Gabby Sparks with the host.
Gabby, hello to Gabby in her chat with all these... Oh wow, that's a lot of snakes.
That's a lot of vipers.
Very, very thematic with Mtgcard. But so back to this deck, also playing sort of fantastically another Mtgcard card, one of Ronus the Indomitable, a card that has implications, I think, for like this card just seems pretty good. You can Coco into this.
It's true. You can Coco into a 5/5.
This is probably the most, probably the best of the.
Yeah. Oh, and just for the update for all of the new viewers here from Gabby's stream.
Yes.
We are currently wrapping up round 1 here, so we're going to be starting up round 2 quite shortly here.
Yeah, we should be on round 2 in just a few minutes. I will... Yeah.
But certainly do appreciate the Viper love.
Yeah. So, Ronus the Indomitable, is this the best god from Mtgcard?
It certainly looks that way right now.
Okay.
This is the most easy to play, right?
Sure. It has the fewest constraints.
Yeah, power 4 greater, not too hard of a constraint, and also the ability to just pump something and also be able to attack with it.
Right.
It's pretty free.
Right.
Whereas the other decks, the other gods, kind of require build arounds.
Yeah, and so we just got a bunch of follows. So thank you to the Dolphino Gamer, the Wanderer 1990, Clockwork Simon, Quackamole, and XX Thornton XX for the follows. But so also with Ronus, this combos quite well with the infinite mana thing because you can pump a creature to infinite big.
Yes.
Well, okay, infinite power.
Sure.
The infinite. It doesn't have infinite toughness, but somehow I think that trample is gonna be pretty good.
The trample is pretty good when you have infinite power. So I'm just gonna step outside real quickly and see what the status is on this round.
I'll go through the rest of this classic here. Just behind the Star City Games is calling it Counters Company. I'm not sure I like Counters Company. I maybe Vizier Company, but you know they will name it. Well, they will name it. The point is that it does some stuff. We also had a Jeskai Saheeli list. So this list playing 4 Felidar Guardian, 4 Saheeli Rai. Felidar Guardian, obviously, you know, the recent addendum to the ban list in Standard. This deck, you know, can also win that way. Also has Sun Titan in it. Sun Titan, pretty good card when you can actually go infinite with Saheeli Rai. They kill one of your Saheeli Rais, you have another one in hand. Sun Titan, bring one back, copy the Sun Titan, play the second Saheeli. Legend rule or Planeswalker uniqueness rule your first Saheeli, keep copying, you eventually have infinite Vigilance Sun Titans and you attack them with that. So pretty standard, like, Jeskai control shell, but with an infinite combo that is a little bit less clunky to play than the Kiki Jiki combo. So that's sort of what this has going for it. So, and I mean, I think that, so I'm talking about this Jeskai Saheeli list and how so, you know, we've seen infinite combos in Jeskai decks before, right? Where, like, most commonly Sean McLaren's Kiki list. But I think I was saying, you know, that how do you feel about, like, the clunkiness of Felidar Guardian and Saheeli Rai versus Kiki Resto? Because I feel like the Saheeli Rai, obviously not being, like, triple red, is a pretty nice benefit.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the nice parts about the Saheeli decks in Modern is that you get to play Sun Titan, and that can do very degenerate things. You also get to play it in a true control shell, one that, you know, you have much more power than you do in Standard. And the Felidar Guardian is cute. Unfortunately, the number of targets you can blink, you're sort of limited. Realistically, if you're not killing them with a Saheeli, right, you're gonna blink
Blinking your Wall of Omens is
terrible.
but so the thing is, actually, this is somewhere where, as like a Jeskai Kiki player, sort of tilts me a little bit, is like, if you can't blink your Wall of Omens at instant speed, what are you doing? Right? Like, I understand why you're playing Felidar Guardian, but, like, it seems way worse to have to go play my sorcery speed 1/4, blink my wall, draw a card, rather than, like, with Resto, where you can hold up Cryptic Command and do the same thing.
Right. One card you can blink with this that a lot of lists have is Spreading Seas. And Spreading Seas is quite powerful now.
This list is not playing Spreading Seas, but I really like that, actually.
Yeah.
That seems amazing.
Yeah, so that's one of the main benefits of playing the Felidar over the Resto. Obviously, with Felidar, you can
so good, actually.
Yeah, you can infinite someone with the Saheeli. But, yeah, like, in a vacuum, these two are not terribly powerful cards.
Sure.
The Saheeli, obviously, if you're blinking Sun Titans, you're pretty much winning the game.
Yeah.
Sun Titan also has fun combo. If you have
Saheeli in the yard.
You have Saheeli in yard, or even if you have a Phantasmal Image in yard, you can do some degenerate things.
Yeah, this deck not playing any Phantasmal Image. One thing that's interesting about the board, and I'd be interested to see if this is correct, is Star City Games said there were 3 Cavern of Souls in the board. What do you put Cavern on? Do you just put it on, like, Cat?
Yeah, you can put it on Cat.
I guess it just means that your Cat resolves. It's a great, like, I guess it's a Mirror Breaker? I don't know.
Yeah. And just a quick update on in the field. We've got 2 matches outstanding. They are in turns, so we should be wrapping up shortly. One game was Amulet Titan, and I don't know, they were attacking multiple times with the Primeval Titan. So that game looks like it's about to conclude shortly.
What was the other one?
Some sort of Grixis Esper match. You know, Snapcaster beats and all.
Gross. I think we have one more page of decks to look at here before we go to before we get this next round started shortly. But
yeah, well, one thing that people might have forgotten about Cavern Souls.
Yeah.
When it saw some Standard play, for example, Jund used to run it in Standard. You had very few cards that had overlapping types.
Yeah.
But you just put it on what you needed to resolve. It's also, let's not forget fixing. So sometimes you put it on Beast for Thragtusk, and sometimes you put it on Human for Huntmaster.
You put it on Vampire for Olivia.
Yeah, all of these are fine.
Fair enough. And I mean, the uncounterable, obviously, like, why you play it, but the fixing is not the worst. It is just a rainbow land. Like, if you're missing one of 2 colors, you can just make that color for free. Sort of moving down the top 8, or like the top 32 of this classic, though, a lot of, at least sort of more towards the end, but a few up front too. A lot of Abzan lists, and I think this would be a good time to talk about like Abzan's ability to combat what many people perceive to be the bogeyman of the format in Death Shadow.
Bogeyman, huh?
Bogeyman. Sometimes it's spelled with one O. Anyways, so Abzan has a pretty good matchup. I'm not saying it's amazing, but it feels like Abzan is like I think it's probably better set up than traditional Jund to beat Shadow decks.
Yeah, I mean, one tech that we saw from GP San Antonio, and I'm not sure if Redo came up with this or simply popularized it, but splashing white in non-Abzan versions of Death Shadow.
Yeah.
So you have access to range reveals in the board and Lingering Soul. And Lingering Souls is particularly powerful in the mirror because you just have infinite blockers.
Yeah, you block everything. And the deck, and so but Abzan midrange, so not even like Abzan Shadow, but I feel like Abzan midrange also just can have some, if you play Lingering Souls as Abzan midrange, you buy so much time that you can usually grind out your Death Shadow opponent. Liliana of the Veil, Abzan, Abrupt Decay is very good, can't be countered by the Grixis decks. It just feels like traditional Abzan might have it might be on the uptick again because I feel like it beats Shadow decks decently well.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of with the introduction of Fatal Push. Now you don't need Terminate anymore,
right?
Because one of the weaknesses of Abzan traditionally has been if they play turn 1 birds, what do you do?
You can't kill it.
Well, it feels pretty terrible to path of birds on turn 1. So enough. Now with Fatal Push, you have all of the traditional grinding power of Jund. You have the Liliana package, you have lots of removal, and you have good threats. And Lingering Souls always gave you a lot of power in a difficult to interact with way.
Right, and actually I've seen, to sort of combat this, I have seen online a number of Grixis Shadow decks. I don't know about Jund, but a lot of Grixis Shadow decks have actually started playing Anger of the Gods or Kozilek's Return in the board, just as a way to kill X1s that potentially gum up the board. Ooh, pairings though. Ooh, pairings for the next round. All right. So.
Give us a moment here as we figure out who we're gonna have.
Sure, go get it. Okay. As long as you think they're both good, it's good. All right, so Dan's gonna hop out of the booth. He's gonna get us a match. And I will be throwing it down to the play area to watch some Magic. So I will do some resetting of the overlays here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We are streaming to 271 viewers currently, which is far more than we've ever had on the stream. We really do appreciate you guys all tuning in, guys and girls all tuning in. The follows that I missed, wow. So thank you to Flatty Ice, Lady Atarka, Midrill, Ocampo B86, Grimborn, Squirrel Loot, Tempo 413, Risco1234, Muppet Pastor X, Enbricor for the follows. Definitely appreciate you guys, and thank you again to Gabby Sparts for giving us the host. We are going to see a match between Matt Collender on the right and Vincent Adinolfi on the left. So for those of you new to the stream, Vincent Adinolfi, featured relatively frequently. Pretty good player, plays Jeskai. Used to play Death Shadow Jund for a little bit because that was sort of the hip and happening thing in Modern, but has moved back onto Jeskai after saying he never wants to play Jund Death Shadow again in his life. So get some Jeskai control up here. And do we know what Matt Collander's playing?
I asked him in passing, and I didn't quite. I'm not quite sure if I heard him correctly, but I believe he said mill.
You cannot be serious.
I actually do believe that is what he said. Which is pretty rough matchup for
Jeskai Control sometimes has a hard time against Mill. We're gonna put him on Mill. And in the meantime, thank you to Thoptercopter28, Diego and Zero, and Darkhawk down for the follows.
Yeah, and on backup we have Alex Perez and Isaac Sherman, I believe. Okay.
Isaac's playing the Devoted Druid combo.
Yeah, Devoted Druid against Banto Eldrazi.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting match if we get to it. But if this is Jeskai versus Mill. Oh, man.
I think this is actually the first time we've had Mill on camera ever.
No, we have had it before. Do you remember Sean Collender and the Profane Memento and the Rest in Peace interaction?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
But yeah, at least in this year.
Sean did move a little while ago too, so yeah. I didn't realize, but like this matchup is actually like hard for Jeskai sometimes because you have to get a clock and you have to kill them, and if they just like archive trap you a bunch, you lose the game.
Yeah. So Mill is always a perennial favorite, right? It's just a fun way.
When you say hold on. When you say Mill is a favorite.
Oh,
what do you mean, Dan? Because it's like my least favorite.
Let me clarify what I'm saying. It's a perennial fun deck that people like to play. Not necessarily saying that, it's a favorite to win, but in this matchup, it very well. I would argue that it is.
It's
in this
close.
Matchup.
I would say it's pretty close here.
But yeah, there's a reason that Glimpse the Unthinkable is like
$40?
Yeah.
Looks like Vince is going to be on the play.
But yeah, certainly something different for this stream that we haven't had.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in at least a couple of months.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to make a straw poll and see how people feel, because Mill can be a polarizing deck.
Yeah. And I believe you spoke to Vincent earlier. Do you know if he's playing the Nahiri version of this deck?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. So
He doesn't play the Nahiri version ever.
Emrakul is not an out.
No, but it is pretty good. I'm going to share a straw poll with the chat. Who are we rooting for, ladies and gentlemen? Let's find out. Go hit that link up. Seems like a good time. So, that is indeed a Mill deck. I saw a Shelldock Isle and a Mind Funeral. Oh my god. Also, so Dan and I seem sort of gleeful about this one. It's because we were, oh yeah, alright. Hedron Crab,
Yeah.
Mind Funeral, Shelldock Isle, looks like an Ensnaring Bridge. I mean, we are getting the card by card right now.
So, Matt and myself, we are good friends with Vincent, and did witness him on Moto a couple of nights ago get pretty savaged by Mill.
I mean, to be fair, he lost to the clock. But
still counts?
Still counts.
So, we're glad to see him run it back in real life.
Yeah.
Greg63T, thank you very much for the follow.
Yeah, and we also hang on, I'm trying to figure out where I left off. Ross the Hannon, Argyle Puff, Ebrek, George Maddox, Billy 111890, Guinea Pig, okay, and yeah, Greg63T. So yeah, for those of you who are just tuning into this stream for the first time, we are a shop on the north side of Chicago. We stream Modern once a week every Wednesday, 4 rounds, starting at 7:30 Central Time. Yeah, so we appreciate everybody stopping by, and again, thanks to Gabby Sparts for the host. This will be a Fetch Shock and a Turn 1 Hedron Crab. Vince has to be just... I am so excited to talk to Vince. Now the question is, does Vince dare search? We do see the archive trap there. Vince is not going to play into the archive trap, although you sort of can't not play into the archive trap.
Yeah, I mean, unless your hand is, full of shocks and, basics, you eventually have to fetch. Mm-hmm. And if you have to fetch, better is earlier. We're giving much less time for your opponent to draw the archive trap. Alright,
so this is a Hedron Crab, gonna mill 3 cards. Ooh, he does mill a fetchable source and 2 Snapcasters.
And that is another concern.
If you mill your fetchable sources, you do lose the game. There's only like 6 or 7.
Yeah. It's fortunate. It is fortunate for Jeskai Control that, you have an above average number of lands.
Right.
But it is a real concern. Like, if you get unlucky, all of a sudden, I'm off the color. Because, you hit all my steam vents or something.
Yeah, the fact that the Hedron Crab is alive is a little bit upsetting for... Is that a Cryptic? Yo, this is like a controlling mill deck. I haven't seen a Cryptic in one of these. This is just like a blue-black mill deck with Cryptic command in it. Alright.
Oh, and just a quick warning for the chat. Our Moobot is set up to be pretty aggressive against all caps, so... do take care there.
Yeah, look out.
But yeah, CardMarket is a shop that off the Belmont station in Chicago, you often see them vendoring at GPs, including the upcoming GP Vegas.
Yeah, so I'm going to post the straw poll here, and it looks like we're overwhelmingly voting mill right now.
Yeah, and it looks like
Vincent's getting archive trapped.
Yeah, Vincent went for a Hallowed Fountain and is getting archive trapped.
He did mana leak something though.
It looks like he mana leaked the first archive trap.
Oh. Mills, a bunch of stuff here. Wow. Island and Mountain Down in that mix.
That is a lot
he
of
needs
land.
to find a red source. Because typically the way that you beat this deck is you, like, bolt them out of the game.
So Vincent milled 3 from the Hedron Crab and 13 from this, fetched once. So we're getting pretty close to turning on this Glimpse.
Not the Glimpse, the Visions.
The Visions, excuse me.
2 mana here from Matt. Let's see what he's got. Oh, it's a Manic Scribe.
Yeah, this is a new addition to the mill deck. But it looks like Vincent's got a Spell Snare for this.
That's fine. The only good targets for Spell Snare are Glimpse the Unthinkable and I guess now Manic Scribe. But when you counter a Glimpse with a Spell Snare, that does feel pretty good.
Yeah. Matt really, missing on these land drops hurts quite a bit, especially when you have a Hedron Crab.
He does have a Surgical in hand, which is sort of important if you're going to, like, I think you might Surgical the Bolts.
Yeah, Surgical. So, if I'm Matt, it isn't clear yet whether or not Vincent is on the Nahiri plane. And if he's
not playing Nahiri.
Right, but it's not clear to Matt yet.
Oh, yeah, so he has to worry about an Emrakul?
Right, so I might hold on to that for a while. You can, like, shut off a Snapcaster if Vincent decides to do something here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Vincent doesn't have a red source, and it sort of makes me think he might have wanted to fetch, like, a Steam Vents with his Scalding Tarn instead of ooh, Glimpse draw, but again, Matt can't play it because of the lands, so he's in a rough spot right now.
Yeah,
we also see Ensnaring Bridge in Matt's hand, I think.
Yeah, so it looks like this is a little bit more of a controlling version of the mill deck. We've seen a lot of the traditional mill deck, if there is a traditional one, usually just jams every card that
has mill them.
Has mill, and like between Matt's Ensnaring Bridge and Cryptic Commands, looks like Matt's just trying to play almost a control deck with just mill as the win condition.
Yeah, Vincent does have a Flooded Strand, though, and this will turn on his red, which is important, I think.
Yeah. Matt, if he's heads up, I don't know if he hit a Steam Vent in the graveyard or not. Ooh, but is that an island I see? It is an island.
Trigger Hedron Crab.
Yeah, so we'll see if Matt remembers the...
I think Vince is going to fetch in response to the trigger.
I think that's quite a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want to accidentally get milled out here. Yep, so Steam Vents will come in from Vince. He'll go down to 14. Your life total actually doesn't matter.
Yeah, and obviously Vincent is not thrilled about having to fetch here.
Right.
One thing that Matt could have drawn in the last 4 or 5 turns is another archive trap.
Yeah, but you gotta hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, this may be the last time that Vincent will fetch, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
And this is a very scary position to be in, because at a certain point you have to close the game out. But
so the thing is Vincent can just actually fire up Colonnade and start hitting with it, and the first one gets Ghost Quartered, but the second one doesn't, and that's where, like, I actually don't think Matt has an answer to that right now.
Right, but the thing is, if you fire up Colonnade, you almost tap out. And all
no,
of a
you
sudden,
do tap out. You have Colonnade up only.
And like we're very shields down now if you do that.
Sure. This will be a Mind Funeral, and we'll see if Vince wants to respond. I don't hate a Snapcaster targeting a Mana Leak here, given how constricted the lands are.
Yeah. I'm a little confused. Oh, that's a Mind Funeral.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I thought that was a Glimpse.
Nope, Mind Funeral.
Yeah, and Matt's kind of just has to fire this stuff out. If I was Matt, though, I would certainly respond to that with Surgical on Mana Leak.
Yeah, like when in response to the Snapcaster target, Surgical the Mana Leak and get the Funeral off. Because it does, you're not really doing a lot, right?
Yeah. One thing Matt can do is he can take a look at Vincent's graveyard, and just see roughly how many lands are left.
Right.
Because Mind Funeral does get better the more your opponent has milled lands.
Yeah. Yeah, Tuxedo, like, I'm not sure why Matt didn't Surgical there. He might be... So, again, this is sort of the benefit of Vince, like, of people not knowing if Vince is on Nahiri or not. Because if Vince were on Nahiri and you mill the Emrakul and then you
lose the game.
You do just lose the game. And also this path actually from Vincent here does turn on Cryptic for Matt. So he does have like a big counter spell.
Yeah, but conversely, it also turns on Vincent's Tech Edge.
This is true. When Vincent but I think you want to keep the Tech Edge to try to. Okay, and this will be a bolt target Matt.
Yeah.
I do think you. I guess it does turn the Tech Edge on. But the Tech Edge is the last mana that gets you colonnades, so I don't really like Tech Edging here unless you draw another land, because you do need to keep colonnade online because it closes the game pretty fast.
Yeah, I think at this point, like, you're hitting for 6. I think that's a reasonable enough clock that okay.
Tech Edge or Ghost Quarter seems fine. Attack for 2 puts you to 12. This is a 2-turn clock now with the colonnade threat. Mm-hmm. So Matt's got some digging to do. The draw is a Mesmeric Orb. This card, we'll pull it up on the right here.
This card, if you play it on turn 2, can do a lot of work.
This card does work turn 2. But instead we've got to glimpse the unthinkable, and Vincent has to think about... Oh, yeah, okay. Snapcaster, target another mana leak? Okay, you got to surgical this,
I think you
right?
have to surgical. Oh.
You're just going to let it go?
I'm a little surprised to see that.
Okay, Visions of Beyond. I really like surgicaling there because you glimpse, and you get to and you still get to cast this. Matt promptly rips 3 lands off of the Visions.
Yeah, which would have been nice a lot earlier. So
yeah,
here,
I'm not a huge fan because now you're going to get hit for 8 by the Snapcasters and stuff.
Yeah, so here you have to kill Vincent next turn. And
yeah.
I don't know if we can do that.
I don't think you can either. I think if you had surgicaled maybe you don't surgical on the Mind Funeral, but you definitely surgical before the Glimpse gets countered.
Yeah, so looking at Vincent's graveyard, I'm saying roughly 20 cards.
Yeah.
There's, roughly 10 additional ones in play or in exile.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Matt's got about half the deck left. So...
Yeah, he's got to go so fast.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that will do it from this point.
Yeah, I mean, like a super lucky Mind Funeral into stuff, but a super lucky Mind Funeral and like an Archive Trap. So Vincent will animate Colonnade here. Mm-hmm. Just go for the kill. This is 8 damage, so like...
Yeah, Matt's going to fall to 4, and now he's dead to even just, the Snapcaster's on board.
Yeah. He does have a Cryptic in hand. So, like... But again, he has to, like, hold up everything to Cryptic. So, I think that just, like, Matt not surgicaling here sort of cost him the game. Like, I get you're worried about an Emrakul, but at some point you just have to be like, I've seen half my opponent's deck. I haven't seen a Nahiri. I'm just have to go for this.
Right. At a certain point, if they have an Emrakul, I don't think you're winning that game anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, we'll see what Matt can piece together this turn.
Yeah. Big Daddy Snow says, at the very least, I hope he surgicals before he loses just to see that there's no Nahiri in the deck. And I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
The information about what your opponent has in their main deck is really important.
There's one thing that a lot of players forget to do, and that's, like, even if you're about to scoop, if you have an Inquisition in hand or Thoughtseize, just fire it off just to see, like, maybe you get a little bit more information.
Matt draws a Damnation. Not good enough against the Colonnade, though.
Unfortunately, no, not good enough. Matt's going to be at 2 from the fetch. Oh, no, excuse me. He'll be at 3. No, funny enough, if Matt had a Fatal Push, he's still in this game.
He just dies to the snaps, right?
Oh, you Damnation, then you Fatal Push.
Oh, sure. Surgical. Okay, so he is going to cast Surgical, targeting something. Vincent's going to reveal his hand, so he's targeting the bolts with Surgical. Those will get exiled. Vincent pulling 3 out of the graveyard, and then we'll get to look through the rest of the deck here.
That'll be the last one. It looks like...
just going to take a quick peek at what's going on.
Quite a bit of burn. I think that's 2 Sphinx's Revs?
2, yeah, it's like 2 Sphinx's Revs, some number of Helix, 3 Supreme Verdicts. Vince is playing 4 Spreading Seas, which has proven really powerful. And wow, he doesn't, like, if you look at Matt shuffling, he doesn't have that many cards left, but it's going to be too much for Matt's hand, I think.
Yeah. The only... Yeah, I don't see a path back from this. Short of Vincent forgetting to attack, I think we're headed to game 2 here.
I mean, he's going to get Cryptic for a turn.
Yeah, he does have Cryptic, so he will buy himself an additional turn. It's just...
Right.
Going to next turn, we haven't advanced our position any.
Well, actually,
Ooh,
so yeah, this is the thing, right? Like
Yeah.
Vincent could have said go to combat. Matt says cryptic. Vince says fine. Vincent activates colonnade.
right. And the funny thing is, because Vincent has 3 colonnades,
Yeah.
you can't even bounce it. So one
Right.
line you can take with the cryptic command, if you only have 1 colonnade, is I'll tap your team and bounce the colonnade.
Yeah.
That prevents everything. Here, because Vincent animated first, Matt has a full turn. Which means that, Vincent effectively has milled an additional 1 for draw step.
Yeah. Matt puts a Ghost Quarter into play. This will stop it for another turn.
Yeah.
Matt holding on here. Gah.
So there's a damnation. So,
All right.
and
No,
the-
Vince also does not have any Snapcasters left in the deck.
Yeah, and I think there's a 0% chance Vincent searches from this Ghost Quarter. There's a 0% chance.
Probably.
Right. You're like in reasonable shape here. And searching, you could just die to like nonsense like double archive trap in hand.
Yeah, dude, double archive trap's a really good way to mill half your library. So Vincent just has the thing run into the Ghost Quarter, right? Unless he has a Helix. But nope, he's just going to animate the colonnade.
Yeah, Swaggins also has an interesting, noteworthy point here.
Yeah.
He can take all of, he can dump his hand and play in the Snaring Bridge.
Ooh, true.
Which is a way to keep himself alive for a while. Matt is at 3, unfortunately, though, and Vincent did reveal a bunch of Lightning Helixes in his graveyard.
In his deck.
In his deck, excuse me.
He's out of Snapcasters, notably. He milled 2 off the first Hedron Crab, and he no longer has 1. And the other 2 died to damnation.
Yeah, so...
This game is, going much longer than it necessarily should, I guess, because or not necessarily should, but, longer than we expected, because Matt has now Ghost Quartered one of the colonnades.
Yeah.
Mesmeric Orb coming down. If he plays Bridge here, does he live? He doesn't... Oh...
how many? I think that's 2 cards in hand?
I mean, I don't think Colonnade is 3 cards in hand, but one of them's a Surgical, so Colonnade definitely isn't attacking.
Right. Well, the Surgical is uncastable right now. We have to actually hard cast that because our life total is so... Well, I guess...
So this is the mill from Mesmeric Orb, doing a lot.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's double Lightning Helix. All right.
Oh, so Vince actually might lose this game. Surgical, pay 2 life, go to 1.
Surgically, the Lightning Helixes. I don't know if Vincent can win anymore.
Yep, I don't either.
Oh,
is
man,
Mill gonna do
Did
it?
he just steal this game?
Dude, Vincent not playing around the Cryptic Tap with the Colonnade
And
is actually gonna cost him. There's nothing left in his deck.
So Vincent... Oh, no, and... So I was going to say, Vincent does have the line, though. If he draws Cryptic Command this turn, he can end of turn bounce the Ensnaring Bridge and then kill you. But Vincent has to draw exactly
There's an
Cryptic
Archive
Command
Trap
right
in
now.
hand for Matt.
Yeah, but the Archive Traps...
Yeah. Vincent just says go. I didn't see what he drew. Draw step from Matt is going to mill some stuff.
Yeah, he's going to mill 5, I believe, from this.
Yeah.
Got to remember not to crack that Flutter Strand.
Yeah, if he does that, he does die.
But I think Matt just has hard cast Archive Trap now.
He does, but he's going to Visions instead. Why? Unless you can get your hand back down under the bridge size, you lose.
Yeah, we just...
What? No! Not like this!
But it's okay. Matt has an Archive Trap.
I don't know if it matters. Vincent's not going to search.
No, you just hardcast it. You can hardcast an Archive Trap, mill 13.
But does he win then? I don't know if there's enough left.
Oh.
Oh. Manic Scribe mill you. Did we just...
There's a ring, man.
Oh my god.
Are we above?
We're at 5 cards.
Oh,
I think.
no. Oh,
I think
no.
we're at 5 cards. Hold on.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No.
All right, so Matt...
I need an adult.
Matt trying to figure out, see if we can dump some cards. I mean, one line he did have was just a hard cast the Archive Trap. Matt's going to recast the Manic Scribe. And it's going to do it. Quick Delirium check. Might not... Actually, it might not actually be on. I don't know if he milled a creature.
Okay, so Vincent. Oh, wait. If Vincent bounces the Vincent drew the cryptic. Counter that, bounce the bridge, and I think that does it. Vincent's gonna mill 6 on his untap.
Yeah.
Matt literally had the game.
No.
He still had the cryptic.
No. He did have the game. He can just hard cast Archive Trap.
But Vince would have cryptic.
You do it. You just hold it up.
Oh yeah, sure. Vincent untaps, mills 6.
Right, because Vincent can't do anything.
Draw a step. A few cards left in library. Attack you. That's game 1.
Oh wow.
Brutal.
Brutal.
We were so close to Mill getting a win.
And let me just double check this.
What do you want?
The CMC and Archive Trap.
It's 5.
I believe it is 5,
It's
right?
5.
Yeah, so we did have Hardcast Archive Trap.
Yeah, if we do hardcast archive, like Vincent animates. No, you still die though.
No, because we can't deal with the Ensnaring Bridge.
Oh right, if Vincent goes cryptic, you just archive trap him.
You Archive Trap. Yeah, you just hold.
And Vincent has to
trap.
go cryptic there. Yeah.
Right. Eventually, you're gonna have enough. You'll be able to do enough things where you can like play land and then maybe like play Manic Scribe and Archive Trap. But yeah, that's.
I think Matt did have. I think Matt sort of like threw away lethal there.
Right. Although to be fair, Vincent did that in turn as well.
Yeah. Vincent sort of tossed it, and Matt said, "I'll take this," and then threw it back.
Yeah. A little bit unfortunate, but wow, we almost saw Matt steal a game there.
Man, honestly, if Vince loses a single game to Mill, or if Vince were to lose a match to Mill, he would. Yeah, so there's a couple things in that game that I think really ended up mattering. A, Vincent not like being like, I want to attack with my Snapcasters, Matt crypticking them, Vincent being like, cool, I have priority back, I'm going to activate Colonnade. Also, though, Matt, notably, if he had Surgical Mana Leak the first time in response, like when Vince went for it, that would have been, like the Mind Funeral would have resolved, the Glimpse would have later resolved. Also...
Well, the Glimpse not necessarily would have resolved because... Vincent did have a Spell Snare in the graveyard.
Okay.
So we're going to flash that back instead.
Okay, but when Vincent targeted Mana... If you let it go the first time, when Vincent targets Mana Leak the second time, I think you have to take it.
Yeah. So Matt can afford to play around the Emrakul line if you're reasonably far ahead. But I think Matt, at that point, was so far behind that he had to, throw caution to the wind.
Sure, I agree with that sentiment. The question is, do you go up to do you board in all 15 cards?
No. I know people joke about this a lot, but the problem is, if you board in all 15 cards, all of a sudden you have
Vince is playing 25 lands.
Yeah, but your ratio goes down enough.
Sure.
Like, we're not boarding up to like 62 or 63. We're going up to 75, and that's a little bit unreasonable.
Sure, but 62 or 63 not out of the question. Also, in looking at the results from our straw poll, Mill took it with 80% wanting Mill to win. So we've got a lot of people in the chat who I think would prefer to see the blue-black Mill deck come out on top here.
Right.
Man, I actually just can't believe Vince is playing Mill.
Yeah, and Big Daddy Snow also pointed out something fairly relevant as well. Matt Collender could have just held up Archive Trap, and if Vincent went for the Cryptic line, he loses. Yeah. Or Matt can just hardcast it on upkeep.
Right.
So then Vincent would be, if he had, a Mana Leak or a remand.
Forced to not activate Colonnade.
Yeah, forced to not activate Colonnade. And on top of that, you get the additional mill 3 from the untap there.
From the Mesmeric Orb,
Yeah, so...
it definitely had some different outs there.
Yeah, and Matt wasn't forced to, even make a play there.
He did not have to draw cards with Visions of Beyond.
Right. The draw from Visions Beyond, he was at 3 beforehand, and drew up to 4 from Visions, and then Visions put up to 6.
Yeah.
Which, once you're at 6,
you have to dump 3 cards.
3. So you can dump a land. That's usually pretty free.
Sure.
But then to dump 2 additional cards is pretty rough.
Especially in like Vincent, with the remand being like super good there instead of like a hard counter spell because it puts the card back in your hand.
Yeah, and funny enough, because you surgical the second time, you saw what was left in Vincent's deck, and there were very few lands in it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much, mono, Supreme Verdict, Sphinx's Rev, and counter magic.
Yeah. So we're going to start off here with a fetch for Matt Collender. He will fall to probably 17, and we'll see what he has on turn 1. Not sure if there are any... Oh, I guess Hedron Crab is the mill spell on turn 1, right? Hedron Crab actually, in against decks that are pretty removal light, very, very good.
Yes.
One of the things, though, actually, I'm just thinking about this with mill right now, is you have to bring in Graveyard Hate against Gift Storm, because otherwise you just draw them 30 cards and then they piff and then you lose.
Yep.
Seems bad. This will be a Hedron Crab, though, so we'll see what Vince wants to do with this. I feel like killing the crab is actually, it can be worth it sometimes.
Yeah. The thing is, a crab left unchecked, Matt just drew a Flood of Strength. That's 6 cards.
Right, so that's
he draws another fetch, that's another 6.
Right.
All of a sudden, if Vincent had removal,
I would have been inclined to bolt the crab.
Oh, absolutely. But presumably Vincent doesn't have bolt.
Yes, presumably. Trigger, mill you.
Yeah. So,
I would fetch here. Yeah, you fetch so your fetchables don't get milled.
And if I was Matt, I might respond to that fetch. I 100% would respond
by
to that
fetching again,
but,
or by cracking your own fetch.
Right, because not only now, if you respond to that fetch, you still get the mill 6.
Yeah.
But you mill the first 3 first, and hey, maybe you get lucky and you hit the color they need.
Right. I mean, you'd have to hit a lot of there's 3 or 4 cards you'd have to hit because Vincent has so many shocklands.
Sure, but say Vincent needs to find, needs
Vincent mills plain Sacred Foundry Tech Edge.
Yeah, it's hypothetically, say Vincent needed white.
Yeah.
Obviously, fetching for Sacred Foundry feels pretty bad since your base blue. So you want the Hallowed Fountain, but if Matt fetches and hits double Hallowed Fountain, all of a sudden you're in really rough shape. Matt's
gonna fetch, go down to 16. We'll see if Vincent responds here.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of the sequencing here because this gives Vincent an opportunity to path. Although if Vincent did have a path, presumably he would have done it on upkeep.
Yeah, I would have. I think path upkeep is right.
Yeah.
Matt will put himself to 14 with the shockland.
Yeah. So because Vincent, shocked here and hasn't done anything, hasn't fired off a path.
I assume it's Spell Snare.
This is almost certainly Spell Snare and possibly Spell Pierce.
It's not Spell Pierce. Vincent literally never plays Spell Pierce.
I'm just saying this from Matt's perspective. There's a chance that it's Spell Pierce.
Sure. Matt did see his whole deck though.
The Spell Pierce would be in the board.
Okay. Right? Matt actually rethinking his fetch decision here. We'll see what he gets. Gonna stay on the Watery Grave? Yeah.
I mean, it is a.
I think he's debating between Swamp, or he can't get Swamp.
He can't get Swamp, so.
So does he have I don't know what a White Splash would be in there for.
Possibly Path.
Oh, I think he's just gonna get it tapped instead.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have Path against Vince. Vincent's gonna mill in a Johnny, a card that we can't see at the top of the screen, and a Snapcaster.
Okay. Again, not a huge fan of the sequencing here.
Right.
If Matt was just going to fetch tapped, he could have done it at any point.
Yeah. Oh, I think he went to fetch and then sort of reconsidered his decision. And so this will be a Nile Spellbomb here.
Okay, so
Vincent will draw a card.
Can't get snared there. I think Matt now.
Vincent will play a Scalding Tarn and pass.
Yeah, Matt was excited to take damage and then realized that getting burnt down is a very real option.
Pithing Needle is the draw.
Okay. Pithing Needle probably brought in for Colonnades?
I mean, it's quite good against Colonnade.
Right.
But Shelldock Isle will be the play here. We'll pull that up on the right.
Okay. Ooh, it finds an Archive Trap as well.
Archive Trap, one of the better cards. It is just 5. So if any library has 20 or fewer cards in it.
Yeah, and we'll see if Matt remembers the Hedron Crab trigger as well. It looks like
he might have forgotten.
He might have forgotten.
Vincent gonna remind him though, like a gent. Vincent Mills Snapcaster Bolt Leak.
Yes. So Hedron Crab is a landfall trigger, so it is something you can miss.
This is gonna be a Manic Scribe. Vincent's gonna think about this for a little bit, and I feel like if we're gonna, this is fine. We'll Spell Snare there. Matt is going to attack with the Hedron Crab, and Vincent will crack. Going down to 16 at the least. Yeah, so both players at 16 life here. Matt, notably, with the Nile Spellbomb, can can do a fair bit. Ooh, wow, Vincent fetching untapped here.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what he's fetching for. It really screams bolt, but do you think he would have bolted this crab earlier? I guess he did fetch, like, white? I don't know. Hold on, let's see.
Vincent might also have Mana Leak in hand, and he's trying to hold that up.
He doesn't have Mana Leak up, though. I don't know why he just fetched that. Maybe he you know what? I'm going to keep him on 16, because I'm guessing he said fetch this tapped and then untap onto my turn.
Yeah.
Another Scalding Tarn is the play and a pass. Matt will take a draw step, finds another crab.
But do we have another land?
What use do you foresee for the land? To activate the crab.
To activate the crab, yes.
Okay, so this is going to be 3 mana for something.
Mind Funeral? That's
untap. Yeah, Mind Funeral probably a pretty good guess. But instead it's crab. So Vincent is going to mana leak the crab.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hate mana leaking the crab. It represents so much mill if he plays another land.
I mean, clearly you don't have removal in hand, right? So the second crab will get out of hand.
Right. But with Matt, again, missing some land drops, pretty good for Vince here. Pithing Needle the play. Vincent should fetch here. If you don't, you just name Tarn, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, if Vincent has a handful of land, he wants Matt to name Tarn, right?
Sure, so he's baiting.
Yeah.
Vincent looks like he's going to fetch in response, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Pithing Needle, cute interaction, does shut off fetch lands once it resolves. Vincent gonna, again, looks like he's fetching untapped here.
Yep.
Oops, 13.
This representing Spell Pierce, Spell Snare again?
Or Bolt.
Or Bolt.
But he would have bolted. Yeah, I think this is almost certain. This Pithing Needle's almost certainly naming Colonnade.
Yeah, I can't think of much else to name. Matt did see a couple of Planeswalkers.
He saw a Johnny Vengeant, but I'm not super worried about a Johnny Vengeant.
No, I'm not.
I would name Nahiri, obviously. Vince is going to tap 2 mana. Going to Spreading Seas the Shelldock Isle.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
So that will trap one of the trap that's underneath it.
Mm-hmm. Trap the trap. Let's go.
Yeah, notably, Matt, we saw in game 1, does have Cryptic Command, so it's not, his Shelldock Isle is not completely dead.
This is a Mind Funeral.
All right, that's going to get leaked here.
Yep. And Matt, without another land, though, I'm interested in Matt cracking this Nile Spellbomb, but the problem with Nile Spellbomb is it really is asynergistic with Visions.
Yeah. The Nile Spellbomb obviously good if, against Snapcaster, but the interaction with Visions from Beyond, obviously not great.
Yeah, that's one word for it. Untap here from Matt. Draw is a surgical. Okay. There is some pretty decent surgical targets in the yard here, notably the Mana Leaks. There are 3 of them in the yard, so I guess you're not, you can surgical Snapcasters, though.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just hold it up.
Yeah, holding up's not terrible. If you were going to do anything, certainly not do it now.
Yeah,
absolutely. I would do it either on upkeep, or if you wanted to hit something in hand, you do it on draw step.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the draw step surgical is always the most savage when you rip it out of their hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Vincent plays an island, does have a Snapcaster in hand. We'll send the turn back. Matt with the draw finds a Glimpse.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Glimpse-a-roni. Vincent can't Snapcaster in here because of the surgical, or because of the both the surgical and the Spellbomb.
Yeah, but
going to make him blow one of them.
Yeah, I would much rather blow the Spellbomb here. The Spellbomb.
But if you blow the surgical, you can. If you blow the surgical, you can you can Visions immediately.
Sure.
If Vince mills 10 and you just prevent his Snapcaster from surgical targeting something, you can Visions and then you can Spellbomb.
Yeah. I mean, one concern is that Vincent might have additional counter magic in hand.
This is true, but I don't know. I like stopping the Snapcaster with the surgical and just taking the leaks.
So with the Visions in hand, I think I prefer your line.
Yeah.
I think I would go for the surgical here.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we can, we'll see the hand as well.
Right.
And then we can.
Yeah.
Oh, but it looks like Matt is instead going to
Spellbomb.
And
pay black to draw a card.
Yeah. So one thing with the Spellbomb play, we do get to also draw a card, which means that we might hit our land.
That's fair.
So Glimpse still in the stack.
Vincent, thinking about something here, I think. I think Matt drew a Mind Funeral. Dan is going to hop out of the booth for just a second here. Vince says that resolves, says, okay, I will mill 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A lot of mill there from Glimpse. Click. Helix. Talking to someone off screen. Counterflux, Cryptic, Wear Tear, Colonnade, Click again, another Hallowed Fountain, and another Cryptic. So, okay. Pretty reasonable there from Matt. We'll go back over to Vincent. He'll be able to start attacking with the Snapcaster, but the Wear Tear notably would have been good against the Pithing Needle. If Vincent has another Snapcaster, I definitely could see him snap tearing the bridge. Or not the bridge, but the needle with it. There's just like... Vince has another Colonnade. This is an attack for 2. Matt will take 2, go down to 14. So it's a slow clock, but it is a clock. Mm-hmm. Matt will untap and draw a card. Yeah. That is a Manic Scribe.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Matt, problem in both games, just can't seem to hit the land drops.
Yeah, he really, I think, without the lands, too, it's just like, the Mana Leak is so good all the time.
Yeah, Mana Leak is just counterspell right now.
Yeah. Matt will tap 3, though. Looks like this is going to be a Mind Funeral. Mm-hmm. Bam. Vincent probably going to counter this. Ooh, negate. Yep, pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Vincent has had quite a bit of time to accrue...
a lot of cards in hand. Yeah. Or not a lot of cards, but like a lot of relevant answers in hand. Vincent will again attack for 2 with the Snapcaster. Matt will go to 12. Mm-hmm. And says go. So again, just holding up counter magic, attacking with Snapcaster.
Draws another Surgical.
Right. 2 mana. Here's the Scribe. We'll see if Vincent responds. I don't know about Delirium for Matt. He does have a Spell Bomb, though, so I think he only has 3, because he'd have instant...
No, he has Creature as well.
Oh, okay.
Because the first Scribe got countered. So, yeah, Delirium will be online.
No. The second Hedron Crab died.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so it's Artifact... I don't know if he has instant.
Yeah.
Has he... I don't think he's Surgical yet, so he doesn't have instant.
So we'll go outside, double-check what Pithing Needle is named on, and whether Delirium's online.
Sounds good. Vincent says, path your Manic Scribe. Matt says, fine. And then if Matt does search, though, Vincent does get Tech Edge online. And so, and I'm guessing Vincent will Tech Edge, given that his Colonnades are turned off in this matchup by this Pithing Needle. That being said, though, Vincent is in a pretty comfortable spot. Like, he's not under a lot of, like, he is getting milled, but it could be worse. We'll put it that way. A Tech Edge will target one of the Watery Graves, though. So Matt going up to 4 and then immediately back down to 3 lands. Mm-hmm. So Pithing Needle naming.
Pithing Needle naming Colonnade and Delirium online.
Matt is going to float and cast Surgical targeting Lightning Bolt. Mm-hmm. And we'll see what happens here. Vincent thinking about letting it resolve or not.
Yeah, so the Lightning Bolt...
Vincent shows in the hand. It's a Dispel... and it's a Scalding Tarn. Get to search through the library here.
All right, see a Crucible.
Crucible's good. There's not that many cards.
Oh, there's not much of anything left. There's a Cryptic Command that was on top. Yeah. Would have been a good draw.
Vincent's got a... Yeah, Vincent has, is sort of in a rough spot.
So there's 1 Helix left. And then Johnny left. A couple of Remans, and I think 1 Cryptic left, and a Sphinx's Rev. None of these cards are very exciting, and if Nito's naming Colonnade, like...
Vincent has 6 turns to close this out. His hand is Dispel. What spell? Dispel.
The worst. The actual worst.
Come on, man.
And did Matt remember the Hedron Crab trigger from that Path to Exile?
No, he did not. Chat said something about it, and they're confirming that he didn't. Thanks, Chat, for noticing, because I missed it too.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is a trigger that's very easy to miss.
But it's also could be important. Like, this game could get down to the last card.
If Matt had hit that Hedron Crab trigger, he would have milled the Cryptic Command.
Lit. Mm-hmm. All right, so we will go...
All right, it looks like they're doing a little bit of pointing.
Some gestures.
Yeah, it's possible that all of this was done with the trigger on the stack, but
doesn't
it's
seem
not
like
appear
it
to be the case.
This will be an attack for 2. Matt will go to 10.
Yeah.
Vincent I don't know if it's going to be fast enough, man.
Yeah. Also, let's not forget that
Mesmeric Orb the draw. Yeesh.
Matt also has the opportunity to block with the Hedron Crab to block by
Yeah,
another.
Matt's on a 6-turn clock here, but I don't know if he has mill spells in hand.
One thing I would do if I was Matt, I would fire off the surgical on either the cryptic or the helix. Actually, almost certainly on the helix.
I like targeting the helix. It just gets, it's an entire turn on the
Well,
clock.
you saw that Vincent has 2.
Vince is gonna leak this Mesmeric Orb though.
Okay, so that was his draw, and
Matt's gonna let that resolve.
Matt, I don't believe has a choice. But surgically, this helix I think is really critical. This is one of the ways you lose.
Is Vince draws the other helix?
There's 2 helixes.
Oh yeah, if Vince draws one of them, it's really good.
Yeah, and then you're also using surgical as mill too.
Sure. Vince will untap though, take a draw step.
Yeah, one thing though is like with Vincent with the Dispel in hand, that's going to be pretty hard to ever resolve.
Sure. Snapcaster attack for 2. Matt gonna go to 8 here.
Yeah, you might have to use the surgical as bait.
Man, if Vince... Oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
Matt's
no!
Matt's gonna play Leyline of Sanctity.
No, Vincent's playing Leyline of Sanctity.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, Vincent.
Oh my god. And Matt doesn't have Cryptic Command online, but it is in his hand, and that is so big.
Yeah, here.
This game is over now.
Well, not necessarily, because
How do you... I guess, like, you kill a Snapcaster somehow, and then you just, like, draw him, like, he just draws cards out of the game?
yeah, I mean Vincent doesn't have a lot of draws, and if you
Crab targets, and Surgical targets a card, right? Not
Right.
a player.
so if you surgical the helixes here, Vincent has no more burn other than the Johnny left in his deck.
Sure.
He also has dead cards like Supreme Verdict and Sphinx's Rev. You have a cryptic in hand though, so
Yeah.
you want to force Vincent to blow this Dispel.
Oh, and he draws a 4th land, too. I mean, yeah, so the thing is Vincent is pretty protected from whatever, because at this point, he's just, like, Snapcaster attack to win, right?
Yes.
I mean, Matt theoretically has the option if he draws enough mill cards, he can try to bounce the Leyline, but the Dispel is so good against Cryptic.
Yeah. You have to bait out this Dispel somehow.
I think he has 2 at Johnny Ebrek.
I think what they're doing right now is deciding if this is...
Hedron Crab Trigger, I believe, is mandatory. Yeah, target player. So if Vincent isn't a target, then Matt is. Jeez.
So Matt's going to do a quick count of himself to see if he can, turn on visions from his graveyard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, Vincent does have a second at Johnny.
So this
Untap here. This Leyline, though, is an incredible rip.
yeah.
This is an attack.
Matt's down to 6.
Yep, down to 6. One thing to note, if Matt wins this game, they're probably going to draw the match, because I definitely don't think that it's going to end in, like, the 6 minutes they'd have left. We'll sacrifice a fetch land and go to 5. Notably, this does put Matt dead to, like, a Snapcaster hit plus a Helix. So, and Vince, like, the thing is Vince, like, auto-wins any counter war, at least in the first, on level 1, because he just dispels. Yeah, it's insane. Like, when your opponent is tapping out for their Cryptic and you're just dispelling it, it's hard to lose. You're just so much more efficient.
All right, Matt's going to mill.
That's going to mill.
Land,
Glimpse. Okay, but again, Glimpse targets a player, right? So he has to come up with an answer to the Leyline.
I believe he just drew a Visions.
I think he has 2 Visions in hand. That's 15 cards in the yard. I don't think Vincent has 20 either. So the Spell Bomb is sort of coming back to haunt Matt a little bit.
Yeah, Vincent was 17 in the graveyard. At a certain point, you just have to cycle the Visions.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
It's not doing anything, right?
right. So I'm wondering what Matt's outs are here, right? Because, like, obviously...
We have to... And the Cryptic, for all intents and purposes, is dead because it does not work when Vincent has a Dispel.
Yeah, if Matt can draw into a second Cryptic...
Sure. You can do it twice. I agree. But barring that, we're in some real trouble. Vincent with the draw step, going to attack here. Matt notably might consider blocking. Yeah, he'll block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the crab no longer doing very much.
Yeah, the crab only milling Matt. Vincent says go. Matt's going to try. I think he's going to go for the tap here, but he knows that there's a Dispel.
Yeah, but you kind of have to just
I agree.
do it eventually.
So probably bounce your Leyline, draw a card. And Vincent will say, cool, you're tapping out into... Oh, that's even... Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. That's even better. Matt will untap here, but it's looking pretty grim.
I think you drew a Mind Funeral. I believe Mesmeric Orb isn't out.
Sure.
Unfortunately, a little bit too little too late. Because that doesn't... Yeah, so Mesmeric Orb would be a way to win the game.
But we've already seen at least one or two of those bite the dust to Vince's counter magic.
Yeah, and now Matt, I think, is just a little like locked out of the game.
The Dispel is just very strong. He missed land drops. Vincent tech edged him once, and he just doesn't have a way to beat the ley line. I didn't even realize Vincent was playing ley line. It must only be like a 2 of.
Yeah. I think, so looking at chat here, I think I like the Remand quite a bit. The Remand gets you a card deeper, again, when you have 2 Helixes. And Dispel is just so powerful that there's no reason not to save it.
Right. Your opponent is in a rough spot, and your opponent definitely can't beat the Dispel, so why not make them, like, beat it a turn later?
Yeah. Matt's taking his entire turn off to cast Cryptic Command.
Yeah, I think he has to, though. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Mind Funeral targets a player.
Yeah, all of these.
It's target opponent. Yeah. Okay.
So Mesmeric Orb, I think, is the only card that doesn't target.
Right.
You can use Surgical kind of as Ghetto Mill, but obviously not great.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the discussion is, what if Matt gets blown out by, or what if Vincent were to get blown out by, like, a sorcery? But, like, sorcery speed, leyline bounce, like a sorcery that bounces the leyline, I think is probably even less likely to be in Matt's deck. Ooh, so we're going to go for the Cryptic here. This is just going to get Dispelled, though.
Right. Unfortunately, this is your only play, though, so you kind of
Bounce, tap, Dispel. Ooh, 4 mana for 1. Big, good trade there. Go to 3. I don't think Vincent's drawn the Helix yet, though, because...
Yeah, I think the only sorcery speed threat you care about is Mesmeric Orb, and at this point, you just don't ever tap mana anymore.
Right, yeah, you don't care.
Yeah, Mesmeric Orb is brutal on turn 2, but, like, on turn...
20,
like... We're under no pressure. We just have to cast nothing.
Visions. We're going to check the graveyard. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cards. Not enough.
This may have also been
Oh, wait. He has 20? I must have miscounted. Draws a bridge, but that's also too late. There's no way he can dump his hand fast enough. 4 mana?
3 mana.
3 mana, you're right.
I think Matt might have been trying to play the bridge and
realize that that's not an out here.
Yeah.
This one's going to come down to the wire, and down to 4 minutes left in the round, but I think Vincent Adinolfi is going to walk away with a win here. Surgical. Target.
Presumably the Helix?
Vincent reveals a hand of 2 flooded strands. The Helices are going to bite the dust. Hands him a tiny library, but it's going to be enough. This Leyline of Sanctity.
Oh, man, this is like almost all gas.
Yeah, there's just the second Leyline is also left in the deck. And there's no way Vincent's going to natural draw those cards. Like, he's going to kill Matt this turn with a
So looking back
Snapcaster.
at the Remand line, I think I still like the Remand because, especially off the first Surgical, we saw what was left on our deck. I think if our hand is only Remand Dispel, we want to draw a little bit deeper.
And... yeah, so Vincent will show... Man, there's just so few cards, but the Matt just doesn't have any way to get through the last of them. It's even hard to move them.
I mean, if Matt can kill the Snapcaster, I think he wins the game.
I don't think he can kill the Snapcaster. Also, he does lose to a Johnny off the top.
The Johnny, yes. The Johnny is the one win condition left in the deck. Because nothing else does anything,
Nothing else does damage, but the Johnny will just kill you with the Helix.
Right.
Visions again. But now we're really drawing thin here. We don't even have mana up.
I think he has Spreading Seas, though.
Oh, you're right. He has Spreading Seas. Okay. And it sounds like they did just call time in the round, so we're going to see what Matt can do here. But the Marsh Flats does not tap for mana.
No,
because he's at 1 life. 1 land.
We might just be going through the motions here just to make sure that we don't have any outs.
Yeah, but Vince is not going to lose to the Mesmeric Orb because he doesn't have anything tapped right now.
Yeah, and even if he, decided to tap all of his lands for yucks, still not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this one was close, but Leyline of Sanctity, pretty good. And Matt just, missing land drops the whole game, too.
Yeah, I mean, if Matt had hit just, a couple more land drops earlier, don't forget, he had Crab out for an eternity.
Oh, wait, Matt is at 1 now, not... Okay, and Vincent's did draw the second Leyline.
Yeah, so,
Matt will Visions here. And he doesn't hit another Cryptic, which I think is what he was looking for.
Finds a Manic Scribe, which will buy him another turn.
I think it's actually an 0-3.
Yep. Or actually, it might buy him several turns then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so if he plays the Manic Scribe and mills the Ajani, I don't think that... I mean, then the game just draws, though, and it's 101.
These players might have a brief time extension because...
But I mean, even if that's the case...
Yeah, because the Manic...
Oh, wait. Yeah, well, Manic Scribe is each. Manic Scribe's not targeted.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Oh, right. This was absurd. I remember this.
Oh,
this was absurd.
No.
This was absurd in Two-Headed Giant Limited.
Yes, mill 6 a turn is quite good.
Well, no, not that. We had one deck with 6.
With 6 Manic Scribes?
I believe it might have been 5.
That's an uncommon.
Yeah. But we had 12 packs.
Scribe doesn't target. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So he could mill the Ajani here, and then Vincent would be just play Drago and hopefully... Oh, no, but he would probably die in turns to the Delirium Mills?
Yeah, because Delirium's certainly online.
Yeah. Manix, just play it.
Yeah, I think this is your only line.
I think you have to play the Scribe.
Yeah.
Ghost Quarter?
Plays the Ghost Quarter. Okay,
sure. Mesmeric Orb milled you for 4.
You're dead to the board, so I don't...
You have to play the Scribe.
Yeah.
I don't actually believe this.
Oh
my!
Oh my god!
Oh, and he's 1 mana short of casting the Scribe too. Vince is gonna
doesn't
mill...
matter. There's 8 cards in the graveyard. We're gonna mill 8.
There's 8 cards in the library?
There's 8 cards in the library.
1,
We're gonna
2, 3,
make
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, there's 9.
1, 2, 3. I can't tell.
Oh my god!
No.
No.
No, wait. Go find out who won. Was that it?
What is that?
What? No way. It looks like they're shuffling for a game right now. Oh, it's mill 12, right? He had to untap the Snapcaster too. Oh my god, Vincent just lost in turns. Oh my god. I don't actually believe it. Matt Collender somehow salvages a draw. That's insane. That's actually nuts. Oh my god. I think it is just a draw. I think they're in turns, and we should be getting pangs for the next round shortly. I'm pretty sure I heard them call time. These guys are shuffling. Maybe they have an extension, but what's going on? So he lost. He had to untap the Snapcaster too. It was mill 10.
Yeah, that's exactly what we found out. The Snapcaster means that...
And they had a time extension?
They had a time extension. They have 1 minute remaining for game 3. So for all intents and purposes, we're gonna be a drawing here.
I do not believe it.
Wow.
The clutch double Mesmeric Orb?
Die from your Snapcaster being tapped.
It had to be. I didn't realize he had double orb.
You know what's the funny part? If Vincent didn't play the second leyline,
Yeah.
we don't lose. That's why the lands are tapped, because we played the second leyline.
Oh my god! This is... That is insane. Yo, you're right though. Oh man, that is brutal. You don't need the second, so basically you're does he have Cryptic or does he have...
So I can't fault Vincent for tapping, for playing the second leyline. Oh, by the way, we appreciate the accolades in chat.
Yeah, so to Tuxedo Duck in chat, Matt goes, so Vincent has 4 lands tapped from the second ley line and a tap Snapcaster. And Matt goes, yeah, and it looks like they're just going to slap hands and draw here. But, so he played a second ley line of Sanctity, tapping 4 lands and a Snapcaster. Matt, like, double visions of Beyond and goes, Mesmeric Orb, and go. Vincent untaps and mills his remaining library.
Yeah, he has 9 cards left in his library.
That's insane.
Yeah, we were getting curious, like maybe Manic Scribe, mill your win cons. No. We're just done here.
It's over. I don't believe it. Matt Collender on mill somehow pulls a draw out of the jaws of defeat.
Yeah,
and you know what? Honestly, like that play the second ley line is such a 50-50 because you're like, if I don't play it, he cryptics the first one, I look silly.
Yes.
But if I do play it and he has double Mesmeric Orb, then I lose.
Yeah, he also looks incredibly silly.
Right.
But
wow.
I mean, so part of the problem with playing against Mill is that it's easy to forget what all of the cards do.
Dude, I don't... the number of times, like, so most of the time when we're commentating, and we'll throw it back up to the booth, but like most of the time when we're commentating, right, it's like, hey, this is like, you know, normal modern Magic the Gathering, so like we know what the cards do, and sometimes we'll pull it up if it's a little niche.
Yeah.
We have pulled up like 8 cards from the mill deck this game.
Right. Well, so the thing is, like, I think everyone to some degree knows what all the mill cards do.
Right.
But the specifics of what they do are, you know, hard to remember. Like, how many cards exactly does Glimpse mill? You know, I know it's like, you know, somewhere between 6 and 10.
Sure.
But like remembering what it does exactly, unless you play against it or play with it often, you know, it's kind of difficult to do. Mesmeric Orb, very easy to forget. Doesn't target anyone. All right, a moment of honesty, genuinely thought Glimpse milled 8. Genuinely thought it was 8.
This is...
I was hedging, and I was like, yeah, 6 to 10, sure.
I was about to say, you mean inclusive, right? Because it is 10.
Genuinely thought it was 8.
No, dude, this is why Glimpse is so, you're just like, mill 20% of your library.
Exactly. You know, like, Mind Funeral, how many lands is it? 3, 4? I think it's 4.
It's 4.
But, yeah, that's, I mean, let's go back to what we said originally. This is... against Vincent Adonofsky's like specific build of his deck, a very rough matchup because he plays like very few win cons in that deck, and
most of the time, like quite frankly, most of the time I think that's right if you're playing just guy control right now. Just like
I think that's
turn off their removal, play a Johnny Vengeant and Colonnades, but like against Mill, that's like the opposite of what you want.
Right, and like in this matchup, unless you can establish a fast Snapcaster clock, I mean, burning them out is one of your only viable routes to victory. But,
absolutely.
You know, you're getting a lot of the mill, so all of a sudden you just might not have enough burn.
Yeah, and Vince did just walk past us in the back room here, and he's
not having it.
Well, he also knows that not only did this happen, but now it's on the internet.
It's true.
Forever. Oh, man. Yeah, so, and I mean, again, extremely close game there. Mesmeric Orb is kind of an early Mesmeric Orb is kind of insane.
Early Mesmeric Orb is just backbreaking. You know, it's easy to see that card, like, mill 15 cards by itself.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, what are you going to do? Not play spells?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get to the point where you're just like, I can't play spells anymore, but sometimes you do have to play spells. Hi, Vince. And Mesmeric Orb is just too good.
Yeah, you get to the point where you can play around Archive Trap, right? So they Ghost Quarter you, Remember's like, all right, I'm not going to search. You know, they Path to Exile you, don't search. Can't, unless you're ahead on board, which you're very rarely ahead on board with, you know, this version of Jeskai Control, how can you not play spells?
Oh, yeah.
And you have cards like Sphinx's Revelation, which
Sphinx's Revelation seems
double
like,
mill.
I mean, but Sphinx's Revelation does seem like a good way if you like want to like try to load up on a bunch of burn really fast. The thing is though is that Surgical Extraction from the mill deck can be super punishing because they see so much of your deck hit the yard. Like they're, you know, once they surgical your bolts and your Ulysses, it's not like you're playing a wide split. Like if you think about like Burn, for instance, right? Like
You have,
every single card is like, there's so many different instants that you play that deal 3 to your opponent. But with Jeskai, like you might play Electrolyze. Vince, I know, has cut those recently.
And the thing with Burn as well is you have permanent threats, right?
Yeah.
If Vincent played a turn 1 Goblin Guide, would have gotten
This game would have been over.
15 hits with it.
Yeah.
Right? The funny part is, right before this tournament began, I suggested to Vincent to include a sideboard card, Psychic Spiral. Specifically because I heard other people talk about playing it, and if they're gonna play it, this is hilarious in the mirror. This would have done quite some work.
My God.
But-
So if they don't spellbomb you in response to this card seems insane.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and Matt's walking by. That's the thumbs up there.
it's a thumbs up from that.
That was close.
Yeah.
It was
That
very
was
close.
seriously close.
Yeah.
But yeah, both games
I
from
missed
that
one
match.
trigger, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
but both games from that incredibly close. Game 1 certainly could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Some critical, perhaps non-optimal lines taken in match 1, which could have swung the game in either way.
Right, and I mean, so eventually a draw there. So like, obviously not the worst result for either player, but certainly like it seemed like Vince had that last game locked up until the very. But actually, do you remember? So have you seen this card? Remember this card on there was a Pro Tour deck that played this with like Drown Yards and stuff.
Yeah,
but
so-
the guy literally went to game 1 and conceded and then started sideboarding pairings.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna have pairings for round 2 here. For round 3. We'll see what we can get here.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, I mean, grab whatever. So Dan's gonna grab a match. I'm gonna go back down to the play overlay, do some resetting here. But yeah, so we should be getting round 3 in just a moment. Here in our 4-round weekly again. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you to Gabby Sparts for the host, and maybe come stick around on Wednesday nights. We normally start right around 7:20, 7:30 on Wednesdays, and yeah, so some more Modern coming your way as Dan is snagging some players. Get the overlay reset here, and we will be underway. That's the thing, sometimes when you watch slow matchups like this, is you go straight out of the first into the second. Interestingly, though, we saw 6 different decks in the first round, and now in the second round, we just saw those 2. But fortunately, we are going to see something this time. Who plays? Okay, so this I believe is going to be Isaac Sherman on the right. Who are we watching?
Isaac
then?
Sherman.
Oh, who is it?
So this one, so we've got three matches that are undefeated
Oh,
right
this
now.
is Tony.
Yeah, we've got 3 matches that are undefeated right now because of the draw. We got Tony Skripchak and Martin Sheeler, which is what we have on camera here. I think this is the most interesting of the matches.
Right, so we saw both of these decks in round 1. Martin plays War of Invention Tezerator, and Tony's playing Mono Green Nykthos.
Yeah, another match we have on backup here is Alex Perez against Jim Bailey.
Okay.
Alex is on Bant Eldrazi, and Jim is on Burn with Bump in the Night, so with a Black Splash there.
Okay, cool.
And our third one, unclear what that matchup is, but one of the players has his kid here with him, and it's a little bit too logistically difficult to manage being on camera and handle a kid. So we'll not be putting them on stream. But this should be an interesting match. Both players playing pet decks that they have played for quite some time.
Yeah, Tony's been playing like big mana green variants for a while.
Yeah, and for people new to the stream, certainly this neither of these decks are in the tier 1 meta per se, but
I mean,
both
Tony went like 9th at regionals with this. Did
Yeah.
very well in a classic.
both decks have put up very good results. We've seen them for a couple weeks now on these decks, and kind of figured this is just a little bit more.
This is a bizarre matchup, and I don't think that there's anywhere else that you're gonna ever see this.
right. The Bant Eldrazi versus Burn matchup.
Is not the most exciting.
Yeah. Both it's kind of ships passing the night, right? Both people doing what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have the benefit of in Bant Eldrazi. You can go shields up very quickly, and all of a sudden the creature based
attack.
is a little less good. But
Right.
if you're playing Bump of the Night, which Jim Bailey is, you might be on a spell heavier version of the deck.
Yeah. So we are going to so mono green Nykthos here against Tezerator. Martin, I think I saw he's got a Darkslick Shores and a Pentad Prism. He's going to keep this hand. Tony's going to start with a forest that he'll put a Utopia Sprawl on. It's hard to know who actually does better here. There's a little bit of main deck artifact hate from Tony in the form of a main deck Acidic Slime. But quite frankly, I don't know if that's enough, if that makes sense, right? It's a little unclear to me if Tony can beat the sort of like unfair late game power of a bridge backed up by a welding jar, or a stream of early 5/5s from a Tezzeret, which incidentally, Martin playing a little ramp game of his own here.
Yeah, the Pentad Prism is going to be quite a bit of ramp, and because you're playing War of Invention, you can also convoke this.
Yeah.
Well, it's not convoke, but for all intents and purposes, it's artifact convoke.
So Tony has a main deck Thrun, which as a person who only plays blue decks makes me very sad to see. Main deck Thrun, guys, it's pretty good.
TX Rager, it's not the kid who is playing. His parent is here and is
Managing him.
managing his child, and we don't want him, having to repeatedly step away from stream in case anything crazy is happening.
Okay, so this is going to be a Burning Tree Emissary into a Summoner's Pact. So,
This is
into a Burning Tree Emissary.
okay.
What's happening? Oh, wait, if he has a Nykthos, this is
Oh,
fine.
if he has a Nykthos, this is
Oh, this is great. Nykthos for 5?
5? Wow.
What? Yo, he can untap. He can untap.
What is going? This is
What's happening?
This is a hard cast.
It's a turn 2 Hornet Queen! Panicking!
So we'll make sure the math is right. Tap the forest with Utopia Sprawl to play a Burning Tree. Cast a Summoner's Pact. Got another Burning Tree.
Use that
2
Burning
mana
Tree to
floating.
activate the Nykthos.
Yeah, which produces 5 mana.
Play Garrick.
Play Garrick, 1 mana floating. Tap the forest again, then activate Nykthos again. This time for 7.
Yeah, that works. Hornet
And
Queen's only
there's,
7.
and there's 8 mana. So we even do this with 1 mana to spare.
I actually don't understand Magic the Gathering. We were talking about Tony, these two guys sort of, grinding it out, maybe playing a little late game action. We were sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
I didn't guess. So this is actually, Burning Tree Emissary is actually mana positive with Nykthos.
Yes.
And this is one of the things. Tony has some very explosive draws where he just, Summoner's Pact into Burning Tree with the Nykthos is just so strong.
Right, and
what do you do here if you're Martin?
Even if you play a bridge here, short of
No, it doesn't work. You have so many things in your hand.
You would need to have multiple Thought Seizes
Martin has
lands.
Tony has 10 power on the board.
Yeah, like I said, you would need to have multiple Thought Seizes.
Collective Brutality.
Target yourself.
Yeah. What's happening?
Discard
Nile Spellbomb.
Okay.
So kill your Hornet Queen.
Sure. And
Duress you?
Yeah. There's got to be a better word than duress, because this is not duress.
It's Hand Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a spell, but the duress mode misses. And that's the important part. We're gonna take 2 mana off the Pentad Prism. We're gonna brutality again. What are we killing?
Presumably a Burning Tree?
Yeah. Discard Tezerator, kill Burning Tree, and I think he's gonna Drain Gain.
Unfortunately, we can't take off enough green mana symbols. Because this is still Nykthos for 5.
Yeah, the Utopia Sprawl being the 5th there.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems hard.
Attack here for 6?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is more than 6. Tony just overruns here.
Is the Garrick minus on 4?
It is on 4.
Oh, so everything gets +3/+3. So it's 15 plus base. Martin's at 21 though, right?
21?
Or 22. He drained him with the brutality.
Yes, but I think that's the line you take.
So it's so it's 5 and then 4 from each of the tokens.
So Tony can also untap, play a Nissa,
Sure.
pump your team, and then hit you.
Sure. Nykthos, make a bunch of mana.
Not make mana. Just put things on your team.
Well, no. So he untapped the lands with Nykthos.
Yep. So we got 2 mana
After
floating.
paying for Pact.
Right.
So this is going to be an attack for 3, and then 8. This will be an 11.
Oh yeah. So yeah, if Tony overrun, he would be attacking for exactly 21.
Yeah.
So 1 point shy. So might as well develop the board a little. Martin's looking at 2 cards in hand.
I mean, Martin can't whir for bridge, but if he could, that would be a lockout until Tony found like a acidic slime.
Unless you got to 0 cards.
No, because all those creatures they're 2 power or bigger.
Oh,
And
sure,
He
they're 2 power.
Nissa minused on them, which is actually that was one thing that I wanted to say is yeah. Also, yeah, chat. Please watch out for
the
like,
caps.
For the caps, like the Moobot will actually just slay you. I actually don't know how to untime people out. I'm sorry, a biggie bot rip. So we'll go to the sideboards here. This game much faster than we expected. Nykthos Burning Tree interaction pretty strong.
I think that's got to be one of the better turn 2s I've seen.
Oh yeah, just casual Hornet Queen.
Casual
Hornet Queen with a Garrick too. Like it's not just like, oh, we got a Hornet Queen out.
Mm-hmm. Mind you, like Tony also like didn't even have the perfect hand, right? Because he had to Summoner's Pact for the Burning Tree.
It's fine.
He could have just had that in hand.
Dude, Tony has Creeping Corrosion and Stony Silence in his board.
Yeah, both those cards seem pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe.
Also with Summoner's Pact, like we said before, Tony has Acidic Slime.
Might even have a Rex Sage, but I don't know if he plays one if he's playing the slime. Pretty nutty.
Yeah, I would see cards Tony's pointing out. There's a Dragon Lord Atarka that's coming out.
Dude, Dragon Lord Atarka is a card.
Yeah, Scavenging Ooze probably. I mean,
Scavenging Ooze breaks up Thopter Sword.
It breaks up Thopter Sword. It also breaks up Academy Runes, which presumably is in Martin's 75 or 60.
Okay. Request from the Escape Goat to put Nykthos up. Yes, so this is Nykthos Shrine to Nyx.
Yeah. Very popular back in the Theros, Mono Blue and Mono Black Devotion. Actually, not even Mono Black Devotion.
Yeah, Mono Black doesn't care.
Mono Blue, though, did.
Yeah, so Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, add 1 to your mana pool, or 2 tap, choose a color, add to your mana pool an amount of that mana of that color equal to your devotion to that color. Wow, there's like 2 instances of that color in there, and it's just like, it sort of throws you off. A little bit clunky wording, but I think it's necessary for the templating.
Yeah, Nykthos, interesting also in that back when it was played in Standard, it got played in Green-Red Monsters. Because you could, ramp out nonsense.
That deck also played Elvish Mystic, too.
Yeah. And this gave you an opportunity, like, sometimes, you would choose red to, like, because you only had 1 red source, and you wanted to get, like, play, not a Thundermaw Hellcat, what's the new one? Still costs 5? Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah, it costs double red, though.
Yeah, but if you had only one red thing.
One red source and 1 red symbol on board.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was where I was going to in a
okay.
very roundabout
So actually,
way.
here's a question, right? So Thundermaw Hellkite, Stormbreath Dragon, Glorybringer. 5-drop Hasty Dragons seem to be a thing.
Yeah, Thundermaw Hellkite was like a house back in the day. And, I saw some modern play. We saw Shahar Shenhar with that in his Worlds list.
Yeah.
Notably, it kills Vendilion Click, kills Lingering Souls, and taps down all the flyers. But the pro-white from Stormbreath is just so relevant.
Yeah, that's why you see it in Scred sometimes. So there's been a request in the chat for a list from Tony. So this is from the Modern Open in Dallas, where he got 24th. This is a little bit different than what he's playing, because I don't know if he still has the Primal Commands in there. But here, I will put this in the chat. This is a list from Tony. The numbers are probably changed. The one-ofs are probably a little bit different. But, he did place 24th at a Modern Open with this, so it's pretty good.
The combination of Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf can just lead to some degenerate draws.
Yeah. CW8 Smith, for the Tez list, we'd have to ask Martin, I think. He's definitely... I don't think he's
been in any events where it would have been recorded.
Right, but we have seen Martin do fairly well with it in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, he's definitely put on a pretty decent show, but that game 1 was just like no hope.
Sometimes you get, I mean, that's probably one of the best draws that Tony could hope for.
Yeah, probably. Like, what else does he have for payoff there? You know, like a prime time.
A prime time would have been good. He had enough for Crater Hoof.
Yeah, it would have been a Crater Hoof swing for a fair bit, for like, what, double Burning Tree plus...
Does
what?
Crater Hoof gives other creatures trample. It doesn't give them haste as well, does it?
No.
No, okay.
So it would have just been a Crater Hoof swing for like 8 or 9.
Which is fine on turn 2.
So I've been told. And we are a little bit behind on our follow acknowledgments. So thanks to Snake King, Kelnon, generic username 79, Gendo Akari 01, Coffee Rage, Crush Ghost 12, Q Who 723, Bigaloot 33, Adam Old 64, The Escape Goat, and Antari 777X for the follows.
Yeah, we really appreciate the support, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely, we really do like doing this stream. And okay, so
So speaking of Utopia Sprawl,
so here you take, I think it's the Sprawl or the Elf, almost certain. It's certainly the Sprawl or the Elf.
I think I take the Sprawl.
I do too. It's harder to interact with.
It's turn 1 ramp,
Right.
And it also adds devotion.
Yeah,
That's like
it's harder to interact with too. Like I'm sure
Right.
Martin might have like a fatal push, or we saw collective brutality, so he could do that too.
Right. Yeah, obviously the Arbor Elf also has devotion, but it's hard to deal with enchantments in like this way.
The land that Martin is playing off of, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is River of Tears. It's from Future Sight. Add blue if you played a land this turn. Add black instead. But Martin is actually going to take the Elf.
Yeah, and going back to Tony's list here.
Hang on. I'll go back to it. Yeah.
I don't believe he doesn't have Cortical in this.
No. It's just Summoner's Pact.
Yeah. So the Ensnaring Bridge would have been good until
You drew another Summoner's Pact.
yeah, or you just acidic slimed.
Yeah. So Tony will start with a fetch for a Forest and a Utopia Sprawl. Obviously, Tony would have liked to have had like a... Martin finds... Ooh, okay. So Martin... Torpor Orb. I mean, it does turn off Hornet Queen, turns off Burning Tree, turns off... it turns off Crater Hoof for what it's worth. It turns off Acidic Slime. I think it's probably better than a lot of the cards Martin boarded out. I don't hate it here.
No. I mean, I think this is perfectly fine.
Draw step for Tony. Does have a turn 2 Nissa. Should he want it?
Yes. So I mean, Tony obviously at this turn would have liked to go multiple Burning Trees.
So Burning Tree. This doesn't work. Yeah, Martin is like, oh no, and Tony's like, rip.
Yeah. So like I said, Tony would have loved to go Burning Tree into Nissa, and I think forgetting what Torpor Orb did.
Martin plays a tapped thing. Gonna Thoughtseize. Oh god.
Oh man, max punish.
He could have just played the Nissa too. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be max punish for that misplay.
Yeah, draw step here from Tony. Finds a Summoner's Pact. Has a Nykthos. Nykthos is mana neutral right now.
If we play a Nykthos and Summoner's Pact, we can play like a Thrun or Obstinate Baloth.
No, I'm not sure that's high enough impact. I think you just wait.
I agree. I think we wait here. Obviously hit for 2.
Martin is at 16 from these Thoughtseizes. I think Tony's thinking about this. Ooh, and Martin's going to reverse how he taps his lands. Woo! Appreciate it. Yeah. Attack for 2, put you to 14. It is relevant.
I mean, Magic cards have an arrow indicating which way you tap, right? This is not up for debate, right? This is not like lands before creatures state.
Is it?
Completely not. Tapping to the left is strictly wrong.
Yeah, Tony looking at his sideboard, I think he's thinking about what he could possibly search here. But notably, Torpor Orb is pretty good if you don't have Kasali Pride Mage as an artifact hate. 3 mana from Martin, Crucible Worlds, Mox Opal, land, go?
Okay,
so Martin is just out of cards, though.
Tony draws a Stony, but okay. So the question is, did he name white with the Utopia Sprawl?
That is something that I'm gonna swing by and ask.
He's pointing at it like
it looks like he
did it.
definitely did not.
Yeah, Martin. Martin has a lot of things going for him. He gets to make a land drop every turn with this Polluted Delta, but he also doesn't have any way to not die to Burning Tree Emissary.
Yeah.
If this game ends to bear attack,
If I was Tony, I might be interested in pacting here and just playing
a 4/4.
Yeah, just playing anything that's on curve. I would, pack for anything but Acidic Slime.
Sure. Let's hope he doesn't forget again.
Again, very easy to forget.
Eowyn
also not good.
No, do not.
I think you just want the biggest dude you can get. The Scavenging Ooze though seems quite good. Well, the Scavenging Ooze a little less good.
I think he might be thinking about getting a Birds here actually to turn on his white mana. I personally like the Skoos more. I like the ability to just first off, you prevent the recurring Crucible land drops.
Well,
yeah,
yes you do. Yeah.
You prevent the recurring. Although Tony does miss. Oh no, he has a Utopia Sprawl land up. Okay, Martin will untap and draw a card. Martin needs to. Oh.
Well, there's the bridge.
It's okay to play Tezerator when you're a savage who can rip the bridge. Yeah, so Tony is going to pay for Pact here with the two.
He's going to say end of turn, each of 2 Thoughtseizes.
Yeah.
Pays
and then
for
pays for Pact. Does have 4 Devotion. But now, I don't think that Tony can win because okay, he can draw Creeping Corrosion.
Yes. But he doesn't have a way to accelerate into
Also, Chad makes a good point about the thing that we sort of glossed over, which was...
yes, he couldn't name up.
Because he couldn't... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
So Tony draws another Summer's Pact and actually gets a bird with it. Martin, though, finds another bridge because he's an animal like that. I don't think Tony has any Noble Hierarchs. So, yeah, pay for Pact with this. Draw. Tony notably doesn't miss Pact triggers.
He's played many decks with
Pact in them.
Pact and Negation, yeah.
Wait, what Pact and Negation decks did he
not Pact and Negation,
Summer's Pact.
Summer's Pact.
Yeah. This is a Stony Silence. Martin's shrug, float of mana.
Float mana.
Ha, got him. Sacrifice this, go to 11. Tony says eat that with Skoos. Good technical play by Tony there. Martin not being able to recur things. So, Martin has to somehow figure out a way to win.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what that is.
This is going to be rough.
Well, I mean, honestly, no, wait. He just finds big Tezerate and just, pluses until he, minuses a bunch and, to drain with the artifacts, you know?
Well, not a terrible draw there.
Oh, my God. Martin notably is going to go up to... He's going to miss. Oh, he's going to choose not to find because of the bridge.
Yeah.
And no, this is fine because he drains for 10.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is Martin has as much time in the world as he wants.
Tony drew Creeping Corrosion. No, he doesn't.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
Okay. No. So Martin, look. It's totally reasonable for Tony to draw this because Martin has been drawing like an animal. Inventor's Fair.
Ooh.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't
He's
know.
never known.
So Martin can find a...
No. He's just going to miss. He thinks he's safe.
He can activate the Inventor's Fair and find another bridge.
Oh, after the corrosion?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, you're right.
So what Tony...
I respect you.
So what Tony needs to do is...
Garrick Overrun.
He needs to put 11 power on board.
What Tony... Well, he almost has 11 power. With
With Garrick, we just win the game next turn.
Right, so you play Garrick, you plus. Or you play Arbor Elf, and then you play Garrick.
Yeah.
But then you plus, and then next turn you overrun, right?
Uh-huh.
Because otherwise you'll give Martin a turn to search out another bridge, and you're super hosed.
Yeah, so you just have to hope Martin doesn't find exactly Thoughtseize here.
Play Hornet Queen.
So,
Sure. Yo, Martin could find Collective Brutality, too. If he natural draws Brutality... Jesus, this is so much mana.
This is an absurd amount of mana. Tony's going to gain 1 by eating the Arbor Elf.
Sure.
Alright, so Martin needs to find remembers the life trigger, goes up to 12, Now needs to find exactly Thoughtseize here. Or Welding Jar.
Oh, Welding Jar would be lit. Oh, wow. He has a Tez Plus to find the jar.
Yeah, because Creeping Corrosion
Is not Shatterstorm?
is not Shatterstorm.
misses.
Finds a Pithing Needle.
I mean, that'll save him from dying to the... Oh, will it, though?
No,
Pentad Prism doesn't do anything.
yeah, Pithing Needle does nothing.
Wait, no. Pithing Needle naming Garrick does something.
Yes, it does something. You can't activate before you Creeping Corrosion.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. Oh, no! Wow.
Oh, wow.
This is...
Savage.
This is animalistic. I think he named Nissa. He names Nissa? What? That can't be real life. Ah, God! Martin gets obliterated off the face of the planet.
Oh, man.
Ah, and he's so sad.
Martin had to find Welding Jar. Oh, man.
Martin is the saddest player in the history. Oh, wait, the Welding Jar wasn't an out. There was a Stony.
Oh, man, there was a Stony.
Dude. Oh, extends the hand. Get us another match. Martin is just like, oh, I'm dead.
What a sequence of top decks. What a sequence.
The top decks, back and forth, unreasonable from both sides. It turns out, though, that Tony's top deck's just a little bit better to get there. It's over. That Creeping Corrosion was insane. Wait, generic-ish. Name Bird? Why? What do you name Bird for? You can't, like, it doesn't stop Bird. It's Pithing Needle, right? Oh, man. Wow. Woo-wee! I do not believe that match. That was insane. So, yeah, we're looking, Martin boarding out this card. Padim. Console of Innovation. I love Padim. Great card. Especially in Martin's deck, it's just like Howling Mine plus Hexproof on your 5/5 Tezerator artifacts. So, you know, that's pretty reasonable. Not a card that you're really going to see played anywhere else, but definitely a good include from, I believe that's Kaladesh, yeah. So, good stuff. Yeah, the Modern tonight, honestly, like, we could not have picked a better night to have this massive influx. Again, if you're just tuning into the stream, we are MTGCardMarket. We are a shop on the north side of Chicago off the Belmont Red Line stop, and this is our weekly Modern stream. So it comes on around 7:20, 7:30 every Wednesday, and we appreciate everyone watching here. Dan is out in the world trying to find us another match. I'll catch up on some follow. Thank you. So thanks to Psycho Jive 85, Fred BJJ2, and Lewis EO7 for the follows. We appreciate you tuning in and supporting the stream and watching some good Magic. Whew. This has been some spicy stuff tonight. I hope Dan can come up with something from the field that'll be entertaining. But since he's been out there for a while, it leads me to expect that he will. Martin counting his sideboard there. That was nuts. Ooh, we do see the this card in Martin's hand. Herald of Anguish. I would imagine that this card comes in if Martin wants to put a fast clock on in like combo matchups. So like, you know, something like Storm or Adnos, I could see this coming in. The Improvise does let you get it out pretty quickly, especially if you have a Pentad Prism, which turns into like Black Lotus for this because you take 2 counters off and you tap the Prism. So you can play it like turn 4 probably, but you know, maybe a little bit slow. But you know, just something because Tezerator does, I think, have our time. Oh, all right, we're getting our boy here. Yeah, this looks like Vincent Adinolfi. You know, if no one else was playing Magic, or like in between games or whatever, Vincent almost certainly was. Jeskai Control, moving back over. Looks like we're playing against Amulet. Okay, sure. So Vincent Adinolfi. I don't remember the Amulet guy's name, although we've had him on stream before, so I probably should. Amulet Titan. Don't know what life totals are. We know what Vince is on. Yeah, so this is... Okay, so there's an active Ajani. There are approximately 1 million lands on the Amulet side of the battlefield. There's also 2 Amulets. So, like... Yikes. Unsure what's happening. Alright, so let's look here. Both of these players do have a draw. They're both 101. Dan, life totals, game score.
Game 1. We're gonna see Vincent Adinolfi playing against Amulet Titan.
Yeah.
Tony's, excuse me, not Tony.
His opponent,
Ian.
Ian Sivek, yeah.
Yeah, Ian is at 2.
So he's gonna get Helix and die.
Yeah, I probably should have moved the game after they finished.
Sure.
But
Unless he has like Primeval Titan in to kill you.
yeah, one thing that
But he doesn't, so he's gonna
have
scoop it
yeah.
up. All right, so Vincent Adinolfi takes game 1 there. Yeah, let's move one turn before it ends. But we do get some context now. So Vincent wins with an Ajani.
So one thing worth pointing out there, Ian's graveyard had like probably 20 some cards in it.
Yeah.
So this game has obviously been going on for some time.
I mean, it is halfway through the round.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup. This is a deck that people thought disappeared.
It's real. It still
pretty
exists.
there's a different win con now. Excuse me, not a different win con. A different engine.
Right, you
for this.
use Azusa and Sakura Tribe Scout.
Yeah, Sakura Tribe Scout is really a card that, if left unanswered, is so incredibly powerful. Not only is it just ramp, this also, with an amulet out, lets you produce an absurd amount of mana.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And so, with the Amulet out, you make a lot of mana. You also, again, they've gone up to a heavier number of, or a larger number of Azusas, Lost But Seeking. This card, very powerful, again, with bounce lands. It's no Summer Bloom, but it's, that card was too good for Modern.
Summer Bloom was pretty good. If it wasn't for specifically this deck, I don't think Summer Bloom is too good.
Sure, but, like, you cannot disagree that was an okay banning.
I think so. I don't think it was very healthy for the format to have it around. And I like that was banned instead of Amulet.
Sure.
If you ban Amulet,
The whole thing
the whole deck's gone. But you ban out Summer Bloom, the deck gets a lot worse. For people who played with the deck or against the deck back in the day, you know that the deck is very capable of winning without Summer Bloom.
Yes.
You're not gonna die on turn 2 anymore. Well, you never died on turn 2. I think you took 16.
No, you could die on turn 2. They had double Amulet.
Oh yeah, if you had like the mono amulet draw. Sure.
If you have 2 amulets, you can actually just kill them.
2 amulets, yes. 1 doesn't do it.
Sure, but 1 amulet puts you so far behind that you're still going to lose.
1 amulet means
amulet means you lose next turn.
Yes, well, 1 amulet means you take 16.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get double strike then +2 plus so you took 16 on turn 2.
Yeah, I mean you lose the game when that happens.
Generally, yes.
Yeah, because they're also searching for like Teleria West and stuff. Like most of the time, you just hit for 8, search Teleria West Pact, and then you untap like.
Your next turn is off, right? Because you have to pay for your Pact mana.
I mean, if you have double amulet, you make 6 mana though.
Yeah, well, sometimes you didn't have to pay for Pact mana if you just had the Primeval Titan.
If you had the Primeval Titan, yeah. So I was just like one anecdote about the old amulet deck. The week in between, or the week before the deck got banned, I played against it, and I died. I was on the play. I had a Blood Moon in hand, and he killed me turn 2 on the draw. So like, with mind you, through a remand because he had a Cavern of Souls.
Sure.
So like, the deck was insane. Summer Bloom was really good, and if you didn't have Spell Snare, you were just like, If you did have Spell Snare, that was great. Primetime, I think, is fine. I'm not sure that card should have been banned.
My favorite memory against playing against Amulet Bloom. Mm-hmm. The last time I played it was at PPTQ.
Sure.
Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Hive Mind.
Okay.
I slaughter packed my own Goyf.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't have black mana.
Yes, he gets the he doesn't have black mana.
Wait, but what did his target?
My Goyf. His results first.
Oh, disgusting.
Game 2, plays a turn 4, turn. He plays Summoner's Pact with exactly 4 mana sources. Mm-hmm. I play Fulminator, and he loses.
Savage. All right, so we're gonna see a
turn 1 Colony Heart Garden.
Yeah, turn 1 Colony Garden. It's Colony Heart Expedition, but just Colony.
Excuse
Garden.
me. Yes, Colony Garden.
Yeah, and he'll pick it up with a Simic Girth Chamber into a Sakura Tribe Scout. This thing probably should die. Like if Vince has bolts and stuff, he should probably kill it. Sakura Tribe Scout makes an unreasonable amount of mana.
Yeah. Vincent tanking on this means that almost certainly he doesn't have removal.
Yeah.
It might be a path to exile.
Yeah, that's true.
I do see a Cryptic in hand. I think it is a Path.
But even a Path, like, you have to kill this. Like, Path, like...
It's better. Why did we tank? Maybe he's holding up Leak.
Yeah, it must be Leak then.
But Vincent just trying to get the Cryptic on one thing with this... this is... I've had this guy... I've had Ian's name wrong the whole time.
Yeah, one nice part about Ian playing this deck, he is quite familiar with the deck and has a mana counter.
Which is important.
Yeah.
So, cast an Ancient Stirrings, has a blue mana floating, going to look at the top 5 cards and see what he can find here. If he finds an Amulet, it's pretty good.
Didn't quite see what he revealed.
I don't think he's revealed that. He's still considering.
Oh, sure. I mean, I think Amulet's pretty easy a snap pick here, right? Unless your hand is land light.
Sure.
At the very least, you have another garden in hand.
He'll show an Amulet.
Okay.
It seems great.
Seems fine. You can play the Amulet and then just play the...
Calling Heart again?
Yeah, the garden.
Let's see. One thing with the Amulet deck is you do get to like bounce and replay lands a lot, and that Calling Heart should be untapped, or the Calling Garden should be untapped.
Yeah, but
draw step here from Vince. He finds an Ajani Vengeance, but doesn't have a third land.
Ooh,
critical.
So must have kept like Mana Leak heavy hand or something.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you keep a 2-lander with Mana Leaks, it's like probably all right. Like,
yeah, and you even have a Bolt, so you have
you have interaction.
You can kill that Zusa, you can kill that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Ian thinking about his land drop here. This does matter because he'll probably be able to float mana. So this is a... Oh, God, what's the green-white one called?
Selesnya Sanctuary.
Selesnya Sanctuary, all right.
I think Ian floated mana there. It has nothing to do with 5 mana. All right, Vincent's going to play Ambush Viper.
He doesn't want to discard if he finds a land.
Yeah.
Which he does, fortunately for him. He'll knock Ian down to 18 with the Snapcaster Mage. Ian choosing not to chump with the plant tokens. Plant tokens can win you the game, even through Ensnaring Bridge, because you attack and then you pump them and then you double strike them. Mm-hmm. They do 4.
Yeah, but Vince is not playing Ensnaring Bridge.
No. I'm just saying, like, plant tokens can be useful for other things if you don't have a Primeval Titan.
Yep.
Draw a step. Find a...
Yeah, so I'm a little interested in what's Ian's hand is. Right, because he had nothing to do on 5 mana last turn.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll go with a...
Another Ancient Stirrings.
Yeah.
Okay.
That resolves just fine. Ian going to pull out... that's a Slayer's Stronghold.
Okay.
We will pull it up here.
So, must not have hit very many good targets on Ancient Stirrings, because that's certainly one of the last lands you want to see.
Right. Yeah, you want to be tutoring that up with your Primeval Titan. But he'll play it here, and we'll see what else he wants to do. He has access to 4 mana currently.
Yeah, one's still
But
floating.
Vince has to be so happy with this.
Yeah, like missing your second land drop, Ian could have had like a ridiculously explosive.
He could have had Primeval Titan, he could have had a Zusa, he could have had any of those, and it just doesn't seem to have materialized. Vincent going to fetch out a Hallowed Fountain here. Vincent really looking to draw a 3rd blue source and turn on Cryptic Command and really start like locking Ian out here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, admittedly, it is very much a soft lock, right?
It's a soft lock, but it's like countering Primeval Titan can be really, really strong.
Yeah. So
Vincent with the attack. Don't know if he found the land. Doesn't look like he did though.
Yeah. So if I'm sitting here from Ian's perspective, one thing I'm glad to see is that Vincent's fetching for non-basics. So this means like almost certainly I'm not getting Blood Moon.
Yeah, I mean it's Jeskai. If someone Blood Moons you in Jeskai, they're an animal. I don't think that's a real deck.
You've seen Blood Moon in Jund before.
Sure. Just like Blood Moon Jeskai though, like it's so costly because it turns off one of your primary win cons and Colonnade, and you really don't. And you're a path deck, so you're giving your opponent a lot. So yeah, 5 mana. Ian will play a Gruul Turf. It'll untap. He will probably bounce something here. I really appreciate the mana counter though. That's super nice.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about which land he wants that bounce here.
Yeah, so bounces a Slayer's Stronghold, will float with the Gruul Turf up to 7 mana, 6. Okay, so Vince has to have the leak here. He has the leak here.
Certainly,
he's thinking about either Remand or Mana Leak. I think you want to leak, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leak while it's relevant. Remand, they probably can't cast it twice, but they might be able to pay 3. Oh, that'll get Swan Songed. Vincent thinking about this here.
Yeah, so unless you have a Spell Pierce, this is going to resolve.
Or a Dispel.
Or Dispel, correct.
Primeval Titan will search. Do they play more than one Slayer Stronghold, right?
No, there's just one. Although
Oh, really?
there is Vesuva, so you can copy it.
Sure, but it did get bounced, so... We'll see what Vincent has here to deal with this. I think he might have a path. So at the very least, this Primeval Titan is not going to search for... But
Yeah.
this will probably search for a Teleria West and a Bounce Land.
Yeah, and because Ian certainly saw many tech edges game one,
Yeah.
so he knows to play somewhat conservatively if he's going to Summoner's Pact. Now this one, like, he had the Primeval Titan in hand, so that's
Right.
not a concern. But it feels awfully silly to get tech edged
Right.
out of the game.
I like Teleria West a lot on this pickup. I think you should almost always be getting Teleria West so you can start transmuting all your Titans out.
Yeah, Telaria West.
It looks like it's...
Oh, that's a Cavernous Souls.
Okay, that's also fine.
The Cavernous Souls.
It's really annoying because now Vincent can't counter the spell that matters.
Right.
Vincent, a tech edge draw would be good here, and I would consider just going after the Cavern with it, honestly. Like,
If you don't go after the Cavern, what else are you going to go after, right?
Yeah.
You're not cutting him off of mana at this point.
yeah, no, he's got plenty of green in play. The Cavern and the Bounce Land will untap.
And he will need a bounce one of these lands.
Yeah, so looks
But-
like he's gonna bounce the Cavern.
Yeah, but this does give him an opportunity to play an Azusa if he had one. He
Sure.
could, he could name whatever the human.
He can name human, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna just pick it up. Okay, and now I think he'll pass the turn. Go.
Yep.
Vincent untaps, takes a draw step. Don't know if he found land there. Looks like he did. Found a Flooded Strand.
Okay.
Looks like a Spreading Seas. He'll attack with the Bird token. Put Ian down to 14. Bird token might be relevant. It's done 2 damage so far. And Vincent will pass. Ian will go for the untap here, I'd imagine. Yeah, so...
Yeah, so Ian's not, snap untapping.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's thinking, but he might just be thinking about, like, possible outs or possible cards that he can draw, and what he would do if he were to draw them. So, I mean, obviously Vince knows about the Cavern. If Ian gets an attack in with this primetime, though, it just might be game over.
So
4 mana.
4 mana here.
Okay, different 4 mana. Sure. That's a transmuted. That's a Teleria West that just got transmuted there. But we can't really see, so I'll pull it up on the side here. Teleria West, 1 blue. Search your library for a card with converted mana cost 0. Reveal it.
This reads, well,
Search your library for Summoner's Pact.
yeah. Sometimes you also get
Sometimes
Pact of Negation
yeah.
for protection.
Sure.
And I've also seen, you can also get a land with this if there's something critical you need.
Pact of Negation is the pick, and Vincent might be wishing he pathed the Titan in response to the transmute.
This also the Cryptic Command looks comically bad here as well.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's not great. So Vincent has to have, like, Snap Path or something?
Yeah, if Ian plays another Bounce Land, he can play another Titan, but you can't play with Cavern Protection.
Sure. Looks like it's going to be a Bajuka Bog. Target Vince. Vince says, whew, that's fine.
Okay, that should also untap.
Yes.
Again, Amulet is a trigger, so this is something you can forget to do. Not by choice, of course. Missing triggers is,
Yeah, it's a whenever.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see here. I think you try to go to combat.
Yep.
And, yeah, Vince doesn't have a path for the Titan, which is pretty cataclysmic. More bounce lands coming?
More Bounce Lands?
More bounce lands and a Teleria West. That makes sense. Ian looking to guarantee future Titans. Vince will take 6 here.
So the nice part here is if you float the mana and transmute.
Yeah. You can't...
Not float the mana and transmute. Ian's gonna have if you bounce a Teleria West, next turn you have Cavern Souls to force the second Primeval Titan to resolve.
Sure. Yeah, so this is going to be a hit for 6. Vincent will fall down to 13.
Yeah, transmute notably sorcery speed.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good if it were instant. Okay, so
I think Ian says go. Vincent, end of turn, is going to go 3 mana, cast Vendilion, click. This I like click here. It's fast. It's a flash threat. Okay.
All right.
So a bunch of lands.
And Pact of Negation.
I think you take Pact of Negation, maybe?
So,
you can't take anything else.
Yeah, so it's do you want your opponent to have a Pact of Negation or not?
Versus a random card. I think I might say take the random card because you can, now you can cryptic tap their team, that sort of thing. Yeah, Vincent says get that out of here.
Sure, so Ian's going to get a random card. With the Tezerator West, he has access to another Titan that he can cast.
I mean, to be fair, the Tezerator West
Countercrypt?
just represents the same Pact of Negation.
Right.
Vincent, notably, 5 power in the air, 3-turn clock, is engaged. The bird token will add to the click speeds.
Yeah, but I do not think that's going to be terribly relevant. Ian's representing super lethal.
Yeah, you never know.
So Ian, for example, can next turn transmute.
Tezerator West?
Transmute is Tezerator West. And
play Cavern.
Right, and play Cavern. Ian can also just transmute into another Pact of Negation. So it's,
Vincent
difficult to
says
tell.
send everything. The Snapcaster gets chump blocked, and Ian goes to 9. Notably, Vincent does not have... Ooh, so he does have a path here. Okay.
Okay. So couple points. That should be in exile, of course.
Yeah.
And it looks like Ian doesn't have a basic left.
It's fine.
He may have drawn the basic for the turn.
Who knows? Ian will draw... I think, yeah, I like the... So we'll see what... I think Vincent is just trying to sort of tempo out Ian by... But, Ian can this turn get a Primeval Titan, play it, give it haste, but not double strike?
Does he have enough mana for that? So he's got access to 11 mana on board. So 3 to transmute, 6 to play.
Notably, those colors of mana don't transmute.
I think they're just realizing that. So 1 green floating. So there's 11 mana. He has access to 11 mana, 3 to transmute, 6 to play it. So we got 2 mana left. You're gonna get 4 mana from no. You get Boros Garrison and Slayer Stronghold.
Yep.
So those tap, and then you'll have exactly.
If he
enough.
doesn't, but he's drawn the Vesuva and he has the Stronghold in hand, so the Stronghold will be his land drop, So Summoner's Pact here. Vincent says, I think Vincent's going to respond to this.
Yeah. So
I think Vincent has negate actually.
if Vincent has negate and Ian doesn't have Pact negation, I think.
Well, I mean, Vincent took it, right? Vincent took the Pact of Negation.
Oh no! I mean, if Ian didn't draw Pact negation, it's 2 draw stuff.
Sure. I really, really like negate here. I don't think you're negating anything else. Right.
I mean, there's an option that if you have Path to Exile, you can Path it and then negate the Pact in case that happens.
I think Ian might have drawn it.
Did Ian draw it?
No, he'll play Cavern. Presumably name, I think Primeval Titan's a giant. Oh, wow. Okay, so Vince is actually in a not as bad a spot as we thought. Because of these attacks here. So he'll put Ian to 4. And so now if Vincent has any sort of burn in hand, he's set.
Now, Ian does have another Colony Garden in hand, so it can... Oh, no.
But that's flyers.
Yeah, he's got 5 power in the air, excuse me.
Untap from Ian. Let's see what he draws here. So he did just exile the Primeval Titan, I believe. So here's the draw step. So if he doesn't draw exactly prime time, I don't think he can win.
Or another Summoner's Pact.
Right, but Vince has Cryptic for Summoner's Pact.
Sure.
That's going to do it. Ian Spivak extends the hand to Vincent Adinolfi, gets it 2 games to none. Jeskai control over Amulet Titan.
Oh, man, what a game.
Yeah, wow. No, the Pact of Negation take, I think, was super right by Vince with the click. The rest of his hand was just nonsense lands.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Ian really ended up flooding out pretty hard there.
I mean, you are the Amulet deck. You do play a lot of lands.
Yeah, I think the key decision point there was whether or not to Pact negation the Vendilion click, and I think it's pretty clear you don't. right? You want the redraw, and you
Yeah.
only care about like a path to exile or something.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think that I think that the play, like, yeah, do you pack the click there? No, I don't think you packed it. It's too, like, you get into a situation where it's like now you're not redrawing and you still lost the pact. Like, I guess, although to be fair, it does give you a lot of turns to find outs because Vince is just attacking with the bird.
Sure.
Notably, the bird does do 6 damage that game.
Yeah. I mean, it's not free, right?
Swan Song is not free.
You're playing Swan Song because you want to do absurdly powerful things, and unfortunately, Ian, just didn't quite.
He was
have a
close.
hand.
I mean, if Vince doesn't have the negate, Ian wins.
Well, it wasn't just negate, right? He was dead to almost any counter magic.
Sure.
Okay, but looks like this round is wrapping up. I'm gonna take a quick step outside to see what is left.
Sure. We'll go do some resetting of the overlay here. We should have round 4 coming shortly here at MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern. Again, if this is the first time you're tuning into the stream, we appreciate the support. And again, thank you to Gabby Sparts for sending her stream of viewers this way. Yeah, so this is the left deck, right deck. Yeah, so round four on the way shortly, and we'll see if we can get an interesting matchup there. In the meantime, Dan is just going to see, what is the nature of the matches still outstanding? Is it something really long? Do we have, like, is there something super grindy happening? And who knows? If people are going to turns, it definitely, it'll definitely, sort of lengthen the time. But Dan and I can certainly talk about some things in Magic, should that be the case. Let's go zeros here. All right, music to my ears, folks. I just heard round 4 pairings are now scrolling. So we will have a match very shortly. I imagine as Dan went out the door, he was waylaid by the pairings. So round number is 4. So yeah, we'll kick it back up to the booth for just a second here. So again, we're at MTG Card Market right now. This is the Wednesday Modern Weekly, 4 rounds of Modern Magic. And if you are in the Chicagoland area, we'd love to have you come out and play. Tonight we had about 30 players in the room. That's a little bit above average, but not too much. Normally it's around 25, 26. And it's a 4-round tournament. Pretty decent store credit payout should you do well. And yeah, it's just a good time all around. Let's see. Dan should be coming with pairings shortly. In the meantime, though, if people have any requests for the last round, we can try to accommodate them. It'll be a little bit hard just because the people who have a lot of match points, there's a smaller number of them, but we should be able to get something interesting that might not be what we've seen in the past 2 rounds, because I know that we have seen Tezerator and Mono Green already. Zeromancer01, what is the parking like by you? So the parking is basically there's street parking up and down Belmont and on the side and on some of the side streets, although some of that is permit restricted. I would say that if you're going to come up here and park, try to get here a little bit early.
Yeah, we're 1 station away from Wrigley Field as well, so
yeah,
if you're coming on game day, it's going to be a little bit harder to find.
Right.
Parking.
Yeah. So there's so today is a game, and I knew this because there were infinity Cubs fans on my train.
Yeah.
On the way up here. So let's look. So who are we gonna watch in this last round?
We're gonna watch Isaac Sherman playing against Michael Cooperman.
All right, we'll throw it down to the play overlay.
Yeah, so both of these players are 2-0. Our undefeated table is Tony Skripchek, which is on
Mono Green
against Jim Bailey, who is on Burn.
Okay.
Yeah, Isaac and Michael. These 2 players we haven't seen today. Isaac is playing the new Devoted Druid deck.
Yep.
And Michael is playing the tester of the field. He's playing Banto Eldrazi.
Interesting. So, Vizier of Remedies, powerful card from Mtgcard. Powerful because it interacts in a very silly way with Devoted Druid, which I'll pull up in just a moment as soon as I get the decks typed in.
It also interacts favorably against anything that persists.
Sure. So
Vizier combo.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael is on.
There's also quite a few synergies in limited.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of cards that put -1/-1 counters on things. And Mtgcard. And if people are trying to do that to you, this card is a good way to stop that nonsense.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, this is our fourth and final round. Again, for our newer viewers here, we really appreciate everyone joining us tonight. Especially those from the Viper Brood.
Yes. Oh, is that the name of? I didn't know that was Gabby's like subs name.
Oh, yeah, Gabby's stream is big on Ambush Viper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is like actual Ambush Viper or empty Snapcaster Ambush Viper?
No, actual Ambush Viper.
Sure.
Yes, hence the snakes.
Snack. This was an Inish. I didn't realize this was printed as recently as Innistrad. What do I know? Cool. Yeah, no. So, snack.
Yeah, I believe Isaac is this deck does run Collected Company.
Yeah, it does play Collected Company. It does play Court of Calling. One thing that's interesting comparing this deck to the deck from SCG this weekend is Isaac's deck is playing a little bit more of like a fair game, where that other deck like really was like all in on the combo. Like Isaac only actually has one Walking Ballista. He just got some ways to find it. It looks like he's looking at a hand right now. Got a bird. I mean, he's got a birds. He's got like a combo piece. He's got a Renegade Rallier. I don't know. Don't hate it.
Just fair cards.
He's playing, he does have like Abzan combo things, but so Isaac is going to fetch for probably a Shockland. I'll put him at 17 here until proven otherwise and play a Birds of Paradise. Playing like 6 or 7 mana dorks in this, just a forest.
No,
Put
just
it
a
back up to
forest.
19. Probably has additional fixing in his hand then.
Yeah.
Michael's going to start on Eldrazi Temple.
That is a good start.
Dude, the best way to win is you play Eldrazi Temple, and then Eldrazi Temple, and then Eldrazi Temple. Because then you go Thought Knot Smasher.
See, it's a little worse than the old lineup. Into like multiple mimics, and then the temple.
Yeah, sure, dude, but like that was also busted. Also, I'm not a huge fan if Isaac had other green sources in his hand of using the fetch when he can't and then because I would have preferred for the hold up the fetch to trigger Renegade Rally or Revolt.
Yeah, that's because he has a Renegade Rally in hand and had the Overgrown. I think that might be a
LOL.
So,
Isaac, to be fair, he has not played the deck before this week.
Yeah.
But also, to be fair, shame on you, Isaac.
This is something that, if this was Comp Ariel, would be very much a no-no.
Just low-key. Okay, we'll fetch here.
But Michael being a good sport about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Presumably fetching a Temple Garden now? Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna play the Renegade Rally, do a little bit of ramping. He already has the Court of Calling in hand, I believe.
Yeah, so I think, honestly, if I were Isaac, I might consider actually playing the Vizier that's in his hand to get around like what is very clearly a Thought Knot signal opening. But we're gonna Rallier instead.
Yeah, but this ramp is pretty hard to like turn down, right? Like,
I don't know, man. I sort of like getting one of the combo pieces onto the board.
Yeah, and just because Michael led off on Temple doesn't mean
when my Eldrazi opponent leads on Temple, I am afraid.
So you should almost always lead off on Temple unless you're gonna do something on.
Oh, sure, that's fair.
With the green mana, just because like this gives you an out. Like
if you draw Temple, you just get the nutty.
Yeah, if you have like a Thought Knot in hand, this gives you an out.
Okay, so this is not exactly the order in which these things are normally preferred, but it's a Birds of Paradise here.
Yeah, Michael might have drawn the Yavimaya here. He might have drawn the birds. He might have a Thought Knot and try to get lucky because he didn't have a play on,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
actually no, that line doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
One of these cards must have been drawn because if he had the Thought Knot, he would lead off on birds and then just play the Thought Knot here.
Isaac will attack for 3, putting Michael down to 16. Presumably, and just passes the turn back. Okay, does have Cord up for 2.
Yeah.
Michael does draw another Temple, little, just like ruh-roh. Plays a Smasher.
With mana to spare.
Time to smash.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna win the race.
Yo. How do you feel about
cast Chord of Calling, find Mere Superion. Isaac doesn't have it, but what if he had it?
It's true. Michael did have some pause, so maybe he was considering that.
For those of you who aren't aware, this is Dan's like literally favorite card to chord for.
Yeah,
It's dumb. It's a 5/6.
How do you beat this? Yeah, so just looking in chat here, I think a lot of the context of how competitively you play at these like weekly events depends on the context of the players. If I was playing against, one of my friends, certainly I would be much stricter with the rules, and they would be as well with me. Just
Yeah.
because that's the setting that we both enjoy to play at. It kind of just depends on the context of both players.
Yeah, if I'm playing against you, Dan, like,
Yeah.
no, you get nothing.
Right.
Nothing good happens.
But yeah, by the rules at regular REL, like the land take back.
Oh wow, Isaac rips
could
the
pass.
Eternal Witness and wins the game on the spot.
Michael,
Barring Path.
Michael has path up.
But does he have Path? If he doesn't have Path and Isaac makes infinite mana, he plays the Ewit, gets the Chord, gets the Duskwatch, gets the Ballista.
Right.
LOL? Oh no!
Oh no!
Train wreck.
Oh no!
I mean, worst comes to worst, Isaac can just Ewit the Chord and try this again.
Right.
There's not that many paths in the
Yeah,
Eldrazi
Isaac
deck.
should at the very minimum float mana here. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll make some mana.
Yeah. So this is going to put this in the graveyard instead of getting.
Oh, that's really crazy. Oh wait, no, Isaac can just now go Ewit, get the Devoted Druid back, and cast it with the floating mana.
Yes. But the problem is we no longer have the Chord.
Yeah, but you do have.
We have infinite mana and nothing to do with it.
That's fair. We'll see what happens.
Admittedly, not the worst.
Okay. Sure. I think you probably attack with the Renegade Rallier.
Yeah. It's unlikely that you're going to. Actually, I like holding the Renegade Rallier back
Oh, you block with Ewit Rallier.
to block, yes.
Yeah, okay. I don't hate that either. So now Isaac needs to draw Duskwatch Recruiter, another Chord, a Company, a Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks doesn't matter. He needs to draw some. He needs to draw into something because this does not win the game on its own.
Yeah, Generic Ish also points out,
Yeah.
Summoning Sickness is
fair.
kind of relevant.
Fair.
But, yeah, notably, we're looking for another Eternal Witness. I don't think this deck runs Restoration Angels.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Make mana with Bird. Make mana, take a pain.
Okay.
15. And
Engineered Explosives on 2.
good night.
That's pretty good.
That's a beaten. Yeah, so main deck Engineered Explosives.
Yeah, Michael's just like, I don't know what I'm playing around, but
But goodbye.
not waiting for this. Yeah, just gonna pop it.
If I'm Isaac, I probably trade my 2 dudes for the Smasher here.
Yeah, so it's unlikely that, yeah. I'm a little surprised to see Michael actually make that attack.
Go to 2 for Isaac. Take 2, go to 8.
Yeah, if Michael has more gas in hand, I'm totally fine with
Yeah,
that.
I feel. Isaac does have a Horizon Canopy. Let him
so
take
we're gonna
a
redraw
here.
that.
Finds
Draws a
Chord.
Chord of Calling, so
But one Chord isn't enough.
one Chord is not enough. I would
What would you Chord for?
well, it's unfortunate. I would Chord for Ewit,
Get back Chord.
get back Chord,
Sure.
but we don't have that right now. We can only Chord for 2.
Right.
So that's a little bit unfortunate. It is nice to have this combo piece in hand. If Michael goes Thought Knot as well, you have protection against that.
Sure. But instead, it's just the second Smasher. Put you to 3.
3. Okay, now we're in.
Now we're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
Smasher does have Trample. Isaac not going to Chord there, so what is he going to Chord for? Just has 2 lands in hand.
Yeah.
Mere Superion.
So one issue with this combo deck is that unlike the traditional Kiki core deck, you don't have silver bullets. So you.
Yeah, I mean this is like an Abs and Company deck. You don't really have you have like some small number of them, but you don't have.
But even the Abs and Company.
Oh wait,
of times,
I think he might have Chord for Fiend Hunter.
Right, a lot of the Abs and Company decks you can Chord for Fiend Hunter.
I think
and
Isaac has it too, though. I saw him with a Fiend Hunter in his hand before tonight.
Oh sure. Well, that would be the line then.
Yeah, the Hunter of Fiends. Hunt some fiends down.
Yeah, Hugeski, I definitely agree.
Is it just another... Oh.
Ooh, Drowner. Well, I mean, if Isaac's in the core for Fiend Hunter, it's not lethal, but this is going to be a beating. And yeah, looking in chat, I certainly agree as well. I think there's a lot that can be learned from being held to your misplays.
Right.
Just because that certainly does create a learning moment. We're playing for pretty low stakes here, because this is just, a fairly casual weekly tournament. Admittedly, depending on the week, there are several quite competitive players here. Multiple players here have top-aided Grand Prix, as well as doing fairly well on the
SCG circuit,
SCG, PPTQ, that kind of the smaller circuit. But yeah, again, if I was playing for a box, I would be less
forgiving
of playing.
So the problem is that this Drowner is just gonna kill Isaac.
Yes.
Barring him having a blocker that's not Fiend Hunter. He needs like a collected company off the top. He finds an Ewit.
So the Ewit can buy back a Cord. You can also, if you have a fetch, you can buy back a Renegade Rally and just put a bunch of dudes.
Ooh, I like Renegade Rally or
But the
buyback.
thing is, if you play Ewit back, if you have a fetch land, which I'm not sure he does.
He does. It's a
okay.
fetch.
So if he has a fetch land, he can
Ewit back.
Ewit back the Renegade Rallier.
Sure.
Play it.
Yep.
And get back one of the combo pieces.
Sure. I still think you're like maybe 10% to win.
Yeah, certainly. You need to draw Coco next turn, and your Coco needs to hit the third combo piece and an Ewit.
He's just gonna buy back Cord. I'm a little suspicious of that decision.
Well, the Cord. I mean, so Michael doesn't have lethal right now.
No, but he can force Isaac to block with the Fiend Hunter,
Yes.
and that will give him the Smasher back.
No, because Isaac can always just Cord for something.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he can Cord for... I don't know. He's just like... The problem is...
Actually, no, that's perhaps not necessarily the case, because you have to Cord in response to the tapping, and you have to tap a creature to Cord for anything meaningful.
Yeah, I think Isaac's just dead. I think that Renegade Rally or get back a combo piece was better.
I mean, you have the same line here, where you can Cord for a Renegade Rally and get back a combo piece if you fetch. You can do that in
Yeah, but you have to tap. You have to tap all your creatures.
Yeah.
I guess you can try to go to blocks. Ancient Stirring's here. Michael just trying to find like a Smasher to close out the game.
Yep, he's still got 3 left in his deck.
It is a pretty good card.
Additionally, if you can find another Drowner, that's also quite good. But no,
Reshaper isn't the best.
Reshaper is not the best, but it's
I mean,
better
it's
than...
still pressure.
Yeah, Michael must have hit like a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
Because he's certainly not excited to take that. Even Sky Spawner would be pretty good here because having the third Scion
or the third Scion, yeah,
represents lethal as well.
Sure. We will make some mana. We'll play.
Ooh, Displacer though.
Hey. Game is over. Oh, I guess it's not over, but it's over next turn. Right?
The game is over next turn. Isaac has a Cord of Calling in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fun thing you can do is use your... Because Isaac doesn't have... he might have another force in his deck, but currently doesn't have triple green if you tap his birds and then tap his Ewit.
Oh, you're right. Looks like there's going to be an end of turn Cord here. Michael, gonna let this one go. We'll see what he finds. This is a Cord for 3. You've got to wonder what this is getting, though. Going through the whole deck here. Kitchen Finks?
Kitchen?
Sure. Go up to 5. It doesn't help, I don't think.
I think your only out is to aggressively trying to find combo pieces.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this will do it.
Yeah. I'm a little bit skeptical about this decision. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're in very rough shape.
I think you're like 10% to win no matter what, but I think that you keep it at 10% by courting for something other than Finks. Draw step.
Yeah, the Finks is a little bit just too fair
Did
here.
he draw a Vizier? is the question, because I think it was a Vizier.
Ooh, does Michael have a Merchant Scroll?
No, that's a joke. Okay, so the Kitchen Finks is immortal, but will just get tapped down.
Yeah, so Michael's line here is end of turn, blink the Drowner, make 2 more Scions, and then you can tap the entire team down and flicker the 1 remaining blocker.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Eldrazi Displacer is really good at creature combat.
yeah, so use the 4 Scions, tap down the Fiend Hunter, the Ewit, the Kitchen Finks, and the
Vizier of Remedies.
Vizier of Remedies, and then flicker the Birds of Paradise, and you hit for 8.
Displacer is really good. It's kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that card actually does so much.
Yeah, alternatively, if you have a land, you have enough mana to blink your Drowner 3 times and tap down the team and then kill him with, your Scions and your Displacer. So there's multiple avenues to win here.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up, man.
But, yeah, with Isaac being Hellbent, not really playing against anything.
Yeah.
I would just be careful about, you can't leave the Fiend Hunter up. Because flickering the Fiend Hunter does not do what you want it to do.
I mean, Isaac is going to go to 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Michael had just tapped the...
Oh, wait, if Isaac draws Viscera Seer or another Chord or, like, a Company or something, he does go to Infinite Life.
Yeah. Which, Michael can beat Infinite Life. It just becomes substantially harder. I fear
He
that...
beats Infinite Life by flickering a Thought Knot 40 times.
Yeah, which, you can bank that mana up eventually if you just flicker your Drowner a couple of times. I don't like this fetch here by Isaac, though.
Why go to 1?
It also turns off Revolt.
Oh, sure, because if he... Well, but the thing is, like, his outs here are Viscera Seer. Or Chord or Company. Yes?
If, for example, if you find a Company, you can fetch, and then your Renegade Rallier is off of your Cocos are live.
Sure. Isaac draws, says go.
Okay, well, Michael has pretty easy line here. He can flicker his Drowner a couple times.
I hope Isaac didn't slow roll a combo.
Presumably not. Yeah, so Michael's got 2 Scions. We're going to go to 4 Scions, and now we're going to go to 6 Scions.
That's many Scions.
That's many Scions. Now we don't even do anything. We just turn everything sideways.
Yeah, unless Isaac has Chord or Company.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I kind of like not flickering anything. I just like turn everything sideways. Don't even tap things.
just hit him. He's at 1?
Hit him with everything.
Dude's at 1 life.
We're going to play a Thought Knot for protection? Okay, yeah.
Okay. Isaac has a Birds. Okay. Gonna scoop it up. We got there, Dan. Put both players back to 20 life. Ban Eldrazi up a game over Vizier combo.
Ooh, man. Banto Eldrazi doing Banto Eldrazi things.
Yeah, just hit them with Smasher 4 times.
Here, that's good.
Supposedly. Who knows?
Yep, so we're going to be going to game 2 here.
Is Isaac thinking about Life Crafter's Bestiary? I'm so glad I told him to put that in the sideboard. I'm going to step out for just a moment. Dan, you're in charge.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, so we're going to sideboards here. Mago has limited options. He can bring in a Rest in Peace. Unfortunately, that's a little less good against this version of the combo because you don't necessarily need to interact with the graveyard. Other options depends on, I guess, what his sideboard looks like. The Engineered Explosives in the main is certainly excellent, and he might be thinking of bringing in a second one. Velwe, thank you very much for the follow. We appreciate the support. And it looks like we missed Prodigy for Liberty as well, so thank you for joining us tonight. But yeah, Isaac looks like he's boarding a couple of Path to Exiles. Seems fairly reasonable. And with that, looks like we'll be going to game 2 here shortly.
All right, I am back. So we talked about sideboard a little bit. Both players shuffling up now. If you're Isaac, I don't know. I don't even know what's in the board here for him.
So Isaac boarded in a couple Path to Exiles, which
That seems fine.
seems fine, right? Not sure what Michael is boarding into. Rest in Peace is a little bit worse against this version of the deck, although not terrible if you have dead cards in your main.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, Rest in Peace less good because they just make infinite mana and kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know even, like, this is sort of the classic, like, if Vizier combo goes off, sometimes Eldrazi just doesn't have enough interaction to stop it. But there, Michael just had enough to sort of finish Isaac off.
Well, I
before.
mean, let's remember from game 1, Michael had a very timely Path to Exile. Isaac did have the was gonna draw into the combo, the following turn, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, the combo, I mean, the combo being, like, something that doesn't use the graveyard, I think is an axis of this deck that is pretty, like, it makes it much more versatile in the face of a lot of the graveyard hate. Obviously, Grafdigger's Cage is still pretty good against the deck.
Right.
Because they have Cord and stuff, but it's like, when you used to be able to play Cage and just they didn't combo you.
Right. Yeah, so that's another card that Michael probably brought in. He almost certainly has some number of Grafdigger's Cages.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you have to... Dustwatch Recruiter, for example, is an average card if you're playing it fairly, right? Like, there's certainly more exciting things we could be doing there.
I think they're generous to describe it as average.
Okay, sure. That might be even a little bit generous. It's just too. It feels too standard for this format, right? When you're facing down like turn 3, Reality Smashers and things, it's a little bit too fair.
Sure. Well, Isaac draws his Ballista. And has Devoted Druid, but I don't see a Vizier here, and that might be the end of this hand. Yeah.
Looks like Michael is also going to throw it back and find 6.
One thing that I like about the 4 Ballista lists is that, like, it just, like, it increases the number of pieces that you can have to, like, go off with. So, like, when you make infinite mana and you have it in your hand, you just win.
Sure, but the problem with playing a card like Walking Ballista is
It's actually pretty bad most of the time.
it's pretty bad. Like, at best, like, you're playing for 2, maybe 3. And in this format, that's...
You're playing it for 2, and that's only when you're sad.
Yeah, like, you're pretty sad to play a Ballista for 2. But, like, if you play for 2, at least that gives you a way to interact with the board. If you're on...
Meh.
If you're on the play, you can play for 2 and, like, kill birds, but, like, obviously we're not thrilled at all to have to do that.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant two counters for 4 mana. You're talking about 2 mana for 1 counter.
Oh, no, originally I was talking about, like, like traditionally, like, at best, you're going to be playing it for, like, 2 or 3 counters.
Gotcha.
Uh,
So Isaac has Noble Hierarch, Vizier, Ballista. And he's thinking about a fetch on top. I would bottom the fetch given how many lands I see. So it looks like Michael does mulligan here, though.
it's going down to 5.
Yeah, sometimes this happens with the Eldrazi deck. He'll keep the 5 and scry. I have seen some pretty busted Eldrazi on 5 hands.
Alright, so we'll see what Isaac leads off on.
I'm imagining it's Forest Hierarch.
Forest Hierarch.
Go.
Not a terrible start.
And Birds of Paradise on the other side of the table.
Also a fine start.
Horizon Canopy, the draw
A
here.
little bit worse of a basic, but, we won't judge.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. It's like, I don't know. That art's kind of cool. It's got a little sun going on. Isaac's going to fetch and play play a thing. So I'm imagining he's going to stay at 20.
Actually a little bit surprised to see the Marsh Flats here.
It is an Abzan deck.
Sure, but I mean, this is
It might be. I think that's like probably his 9th fetch.
Yeah. Because this is certainly the
playing,
last fetch I want, right?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Verdant. Okay. Engineered for 2. Okay, so this does stop the combo. Okay, so actually, this is interesting. So Michael doesn't have the ability to like activate right now. So if Isaac finds the combo here, he does just win. Assuming because he has the Ballista, because he'll play his 3rd land and then Hierarch is his 4th mana.
Right, or he can Coco into it.
Sure, yeah. There's a lot of things he can do. If he finds the combo, though, the game is gonna end.
There is the 4th land for the Coco that is not present
in his hand. He has a Vizier, a Ballista, and attack for 3, or attack for 4. Kitchen Finks with Exalted is like, it's surprising how much better Kitchen Finks with Exalted is than Kitchen Finks without Exalted.
4/3 is surprisingly difficult to interact with. There's a lot of 2/3s in the format.
Thanks, Chad. Wait, why is it? No, it's definitely not 19 life, is it? Oh wait, no, okay, you're right. Now it's 18 because there's 3. Well, he lost 3 life from that and gained 2. Okay, so Isaac will take a point, tap some mana, play a Ballista for 2.
Seems fine.
And probably just shoot the bird.
Yep.
Sorch.
So like we were saying previously, not an exciting play, but a play that's not terrible.
Oh, the combo does have Summoning Sickness. Good point. Yeah, the Druid combo does have, it does get Summoning Sick. 15. Hallowed Fountain, the fetch out here. Notably, killing the bird does take Michael off of barring a temple from playing a Thought Knot, which presumably he would have done last turn if he had it. Also, the engineered on 2 is like it's good protection from the combo, but right now it's just not doing anything.
Yeah, like currently it doesn't kill anything on the board.
2, 3 Displacer.
Sure.
I would probably like to kill this Displacer.
Displacer interacts pretty favorably with this against
Isaac
Ballista.
draws Collected Company. It does interact pretty favorably. I don't know if Michael's going to be able to take the time off, but you're right. Isaac plays this tapped. I wonder what possible 4-mana spell this person could be holding up. Also, you definitely attack here, right?
Oh yeah, with the Kitchen Finks. Why not?
No, Isaac, you should have attacked.
Yeah, the Kitchen Finks attack is pretty free because
it persists.
Yeah, it persists.
Look at that.
And there's no way Michael blocks.
Thought Knot. Time to Coco.
Yep, here we go.
You go. Isaac down to 17. Collected Coco.
Alright, let's see if we can hit it.
Vizier. If he hits the combo, he does untap and win.
Yes, because the Ballista's on field already. But
he has 1 but not 2. He could get Revoker here and name Engineered Explosives, which would be kind of saucy.
I don't hate that. I can't quite see what his choices are, though.
Oh, from the chat, you don't attack because Vizier doesn't remove existing counters. Okay. I still sort of like the attack. Ewit and...
Yeah, I think you're happy trading the Kitchen Finks for the Displacer.
Name Engineered Explosives with this. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, the thing with Ewit, though, is, like, you're still getting Thought Knotted, right?
Yeah.
So, you're still losing this Coco that you got with your Ewit?
Yeah, but that leaves you with a Vizier in hand, at least.
Sure. Could be worse.
Certainly could be worse.
Okay, so Michael's now thinking about this Displacer attack. Isaac's like... I think Isaac just realized that... Like, the way that he just moved sort of made me think that he messed up by doing that. So...
I think the line is perfectly fine.
Here I like... Unless you have something better to do, I like play Vizier attack with Finks, because now you certainly go for that.
Yeah, again, I'm happy trading the Finks for any of these.
Right, you get a redraw if you, okay. Play the Vizier, play the birds, wow, this is the best Gavany Township board, though. No!
Yeah, still a little bit surprised to not see that attack.
This attack should happen. The Ballista could just get flickered out of existence.
Right. Michael is just in a really rough spot. He wants to leave a banner flicker, but if he does that,
He's not doing anything.
yeah.
Isaac gonna draw a card with Horizon Canopy. Draw a step, untap. Notably, yeah, so the Revoker locking down the Engineer Explosives quite powerful. I really think Isaac has missed 3 attacks with the Finks here, and I think every one of them, or maybe even 2 of them would have been fine.
Yeah.
Flicker your Ballista. Presumably you're gonna ping him, right?
Yeah, no reason not to.
Yeah.
You can even add a counter on it and ping for 2 if you're not doing anything with your mana.
Yeah. Notably, Isaac doesn't have another Ballista,
This is fine.
so he'll need to just find an Ewit.
You just find the Ewit, yeah.
Yeah. Tap 4, play.
Thought not.
I'm gonna show
Isaac's
him a
gonna
land.
reveal land.
Please attack with Finks this turn.
Yeah, I mean, if
Like,
you-
it's just a free attack because if the Finks gets blocked,
you're fine with that.
because it comes back without a counter.
Oh no, it does come back with a counter.
Oh, what does persist? No. There's a Vizier out.
Yeah, Vizier reads if a counter will be placed, and it comes back with a counter. A counter is not placed on it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is not Malira.
Oh, comes back with.
But even then, I'm happy
Spooky.
trading.
Yeah, I trade with anything on this board.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a weird standoff.
Sonic Gundam, he did get the company back, but
we did it.
This was in response. Oh wow. There's no Malira on board though.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
We're
Go
gonna-
tell this man.
we're gonna-
No, it's a disaster. Isaac, learn your deck. Oh. Does it come back with or without a counter? Unclear. Hang on. Kitchen Finks. 0 of remedies. Judge call. Oh. Oh, it does work. Oh, it does work. Dan. Dan, you goon. 100% this is a working interaction. Yep, okay. Well, we got it wrong. Dan got it really wrong. But I went with him, so it's also my fault. This is why I'm not a judge. I'd be really bad at that. Go to infinite life. Okay, so this is fine. This is all fine. Derp is right. My bad. But now, you get to scry your whole deck. You can cut to the combo. You cut to Devoted Druid. Then you make infinite mana. It works! Yes, I just found that out on the internet.
Oh, yeah, are we going to double check?
Yeah, okay, Michael concedes to that. I did tell Isaac to learn his deck, and I now regret saying that, because it does work. Dan has written tilt very large on this paper here. Whoops.
So Michael wasn't like
Dead, but he
Dead,
was
dead?
pretty dead.
I mean, Isaac gets infinite scries though, so he scries a chord to the top.
Yeah, scry chord to the top. We're bad at Magic.
Oh,
Why do we do this again?
I know what it was.
I blame you, by the way.
Yeah, I misread something in chat and then just kind of assumed that was correct because I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But no. How do we check the Oracle text? This is the first line in that.
Tilt.
Tilt.
We're sorry, Chad. We're bad at Magic. It's okay, though.
All right, but upside of this is we do get a game 3.
Yeah, this was interesting. We'll see again. This is a classic case of game 1 was classic case of Eldrazi runs over the little dorky creatures before they do anything, and game 2 was the infinite combo is really good.
Well, let's not forget Michael also multi 5 there.
Yeah. I mean, he did have 2 thought knots though.
Yeah. Well, he drew into thought lots later.
Right. I mean, so but my point is that he wasn't by any means just ripping lands. It was still theoretically sort of a game.
Could he? So Michael wasn't necessarily dead on board, right? Because he had the Displacer and Thought Knots, so he could beat Infinite Life.
It's so
It's so hard to beat that though.
Yeah. So Isaac, what scry core to the top?
Yep. Yeah, and then you just
So then on
you can't. There's nowhere where you can thought now where that doesn't. It's an instant. So
right, Michael just doesn't have enough mana to interact.
yeah, if he could
favorably.
flicker multiple times, maybe. But no, so
Well, there's no
Isaac
point where you can flicker
yeah,
anything relevant.
right.
If Isaac has old combo pieces, like if he has Anafenza, he can grow things infinitely large.
Sure.
Uh,
Looks like Michael is gonna have to mull the 6. This is a problem sometimes with Eldrazi. Just like bad mulls.
scrying Ewit might be a problem.
If you get flickered and the Ewit gets taken,
yeah, you.
I like chord because you just chord for Ewit then, and you can do it in instant speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael on 6. Isaac has at least one of the pieces in his hand. We'll see what Michael's able to come up with. He will be on the play this game. So turn 2 Thought Knot. Turn 2 Thought Knot. Oopsies. All right. So Michael Scry's bottom leads off on Temple again. God, that's so scary. Dude, every time someone leads off on Temple, I quiver in fear.
So, Raise Virtue into Birds of Paradise.
Pretty
good
optimal.
start from Isaac. All right, let's see what Michael can follow this up with.
Just Ghost Quarter. Yikes. Isaac will rip another land, play a fetch, tap 2 with the birds, and play a Devoted Druid. So this game could be over very quickly, Dan.
Michael, unfortunately, has a colored source now.
Has a Thought Knot if he wants it.
And it looks like he does.
I'd imagine this is going to be getting a Shockland.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get a shock here.
Yeah. Yeah, and apologies for the goof there with the interaction between the new Malira per se.
Yeah.
Certainly a new deck in the format, and must have misinterpreted how the interaction worked.
Yeah, it's that put works with when objects come in with stuff on them. Sky Spawner. Okay. Sky Spawner pass. I mean, this is sort of shields down.
Yeah, so based on the sequencing of this, it looks like Michael was missing a colored source. Because
yeah, I knew he would have played He would have played Sky Spawner last turn.
right, but I mean, we've got a lot of mana now. If we find any other land, we can play Drowner next turn.
Interestingly, with Eldrazi Temple, you can't do the float Ghost Quarter trick, can you?
What do you mean?
Like, you can't float mana using the second ability and just have 2 sitting around. Right?
No, you can't.
What? Oh wait, no. Add 2 to your mana
Yeah,
pool.
there's no
Okay,
reason
it's
why it
fine.
can't work.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was just like pay. I don't know.
It doesn't work with Eye of Ugin, which is what
Sure.
you might have been thinking of.
Okay, no, I wasn't thinking of I was just for whatever reason I was thinking you had to cast a spell at the
No.
time, but no, this is fine. This is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're bad at Magic, guys. Mostly me. So Isaac looking like he has a Revoker in hand, Collected Company, Eternal Witness. I don't see a 4th mana source. Wait, no, he has a Godless Shrine. He definitely has a 4th mana source.
He also has 4 mana sources on board.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm just gonna stop. Good night.
It is getting a little bit late here. Although, I don't know if that's no longer an excuse, because we have been doing this for some time. Alright,
dude.
but Isaac's going to go
I was
ahead
gonna
and pass the
on.
turn.
Yep.
As always, how unlucky. You have 4 more
yeah,
mana, nothing to do.
I have nothing to do on 4 mana. Oh, man.
This is a bit of a riskier line now post board, because Michael, could have boarded in
Stubborn Denial.
Stubborn Denial or cards like that. We can pay for a Stubborn Denial, which is nice though.
We can pay. Yeah, that was actually one thing I was going to say is that you're not worried about getting Force Spiked when you Coco. Well, now you are.
All right, so 4 mana here.
I would respond to cast Eldrazi, especially if he leaves a Palette Fountain. I'm not sure I like this. If this Coco gets punished, it could be real bad. So Isaac's going to go to 10.
Yeah, so Michael clearly either leaving up Stubborn Denial or Path to Exile.
Either way, I think you Coco in response, because if you get Stubborn Denial here, you feel, oh my
god.
Yeah, and that's exactly a line.
No, it's a disaster.
You have to cast Coco in response to the Reality Smasher, because if it's Path to Exile, it's just as bad. But if it's Path to Exile, it doesn't matter. You're never gonna be protected from that.
Isaac does have Chord for. Wait, Isaac just wins the game. He has Chord for 2, right? Get Vizier. Right? Then you go. You have to put a. Oh wait. No, it doesn't work because you need to tap your. No, it does work. It does work. You get Vizier, then you make infinite mana because it won't put. Yeah, and then you.
Do we have
He has an Eternal Witness. He can get the Chord back. And,
absolutely.
And get Duskwatch and get Ballista. The game. Please see Lethal. Chord for 2.
Yeah, and to Chord for 2, he doesn't even have to tap the Devoted Druid, even though he could.
Don't do this at instant speed. Just.
Oh
No.
I believe this one. If he has a Chord of Calling and an Eternal Witness in hand, he does have lethal. Assuming there's a Vizier left in his deck.
What? I don't like. What if he has a second Stubborn Denial? What? He's gonna kill the Devoted Druid and Chord? What's happening?
So
wait, this was a game-winning Chord.
Yes, this is Chord for 3, and he's gonna get a Fiend Hunter. Okay, so perhaps not ideal. This is something that can often happen. You tunnel vision.
Sure.
You tunnel vision on the Chord, and it's I have Chord for 3. I'm a Fiend Hunter. But
no, this was a lethal Chord though. If he Chords for Vizier, I'm not wrong, chat. He wins, right?
Right. No, absolutely. So this is definitely a case of, perhaps becoming a little bit tunnel visioned.
And that's a Worship.
Yeah, Michael's getting a Worship.
I mean, to be fair, Worship does not protect you against Walking Ballista.
It does not.
You will just get all your dudes pinged to death.
Is there Eternal Witness in hand?
Yes. I'm 95% there's an Ewit. Yes, it's on the back
that's
there.
certainly Eternal Witness. Yeah, unfortunately, this deck is very new, and Isaac is a new pilot of this deck. So it is a little bit unfortunate, but
Attack with your Fiend Hunter.
Isaac is still very, very well ahead.
Yeah, he just could have been infinite ahead.
The funny thing is, I think Isaac no longer can still do this though.
Okay.
So Coco can sort of get us there.
Sure, you just have to.
You have to Vizier and another Eternal Witness.
Yeah. Attack with Fiend Hunter. It's free.
Attack with
Wait, no. Oh, maybe leaving. No. You attack. Sorry, I'm just. Yeah, we're a little bit non-functional in the brain area right now.
Okay, so. We'll ignore the fact that the Chord perhaps could have hit a better target, and
that's so diplomatic, Dan. Say it like it is.
I mean, I've certainly done that before, where you take a line and you realize later it's crap. This was I could have taken a much better line.
Right, I mean, before. I don't disagree with you, but it seems like if you have one of the combo pieces and you can Chord for the other one, and you have the Ewit win in hand, you just do it.
Isaac might have forgotten he could cast the Ewit from that mana. And then if he thought he's I can Chord for Vizier, but that doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
may have forgotten that. But yeah, okay. Michael, looking at some options here. Displacer is certainly one of the best ones you can get here. Thought-Knot's not terrible either.
Yeah, he's thinking about what he's gonna get though. We are coming to the end of the round.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna ponder. Well, he's Ancient Stirrings, it's not technically Ponder. Gets Displacer.
Displacer's pretty good.
Can play it. Does not have Flicker up, though.
No.
We'll put Isaac to 6 with this attack.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting very close.
Isaac is pretty close to just dead. Goes to 5. Now he's dead to the power on board, if not the fact that he has... Even though he does have blockers. So this is for basic Forest into Collected Company.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, flickering the Fiend Hunter doesn't do much. But if Michael draws a Path to Exile, this is super lethal.
Yep. Super lethal is a good way to put it, Dan.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, Isaac got back to Coco, and if we Coco into the right hits,
I mean, yes. If we Coco into like Duskwatch Vizier, we win.
yes,
Okay. And
or into another Ewit. We also
sure, that's fine too.
win. Those look like Viziers.
I can't tell what's happening.
Those are
but
white
those
cards.
Look like white cards, and I mean, put the Ballista back, right? So it's Finks and Vizier, but no Seer. So he'll gain some life, right? So gain some life.
And now we have infinite mana.
Okay. We do. Untap. Okay, so what's in his hand? I didn't get
I think it's just 2 lands.
We have infinite mana, but that doesn't do anything right now. Have another Devoted Druid. Revoker. Revoker Name Displacer is actually quite good.
Yes, this will buy it quite some time.
Yeah, I mean,
I would-
especially because the Finks is.
I would
free.
also want to play the Devoted Druid out.
Yeah. In case, I mean, it does play around EE though.
Sure.
This is a Drowner. Good thing there's a Revoker on Displacer. I mean, the Flyer is just gonna punch though.
Yeah, Isaac is down to 5. So what wins the game here? Viscera Seer wins the game here.
Cord.
Eternal Witness. This looks like a bird.
I mean, the birds do buy him a tremendous amount of time. Oh, we're gonna go all in. All right, no engineered, no whammies.
I don't know if it does buy him a tremendous amount of time. Michael is just flickering this bird.
Oh,
The Smasher is... oh man, the Smasher
we're getting into the danger zone.
is pretty brutal next turn. Because right now, Isaac has to be very careful with his blocks. Because Michael has enough to flicker 1.
He can't flicker.
He can sack both Scions and flicker.
It's Revoker is
Oh,
naming
excuse me.
Displacer.
Displacer is revoked. Yes.
So wait, Isaac is gonna take 2, gain 2, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like, I don't think his life total changed because he blocked with the Finks.
Ooh, the Gavany Township, though.
That's really good. That turns the Finks into like a... I mean, there is a Ghost Quarter, so he's going to get 1 activation, right? This is another Drowner. Ooh, wow. Okay, so now this is... Attack.
I think we...
You
we should have tapped... No, we go to blocks first.
Activate block. Isaac's going to get counters.
Yeah. Oh, again, the Displacer is named. I keep forgetting that's revoked.
Yeah. The -1/-1 counter is going to come off that Devoted Druid. And so, wait, I would be Ghost Quartering my brains out right now. No, don't let him untap with that.
Yeah, the Ghost Court... What else are you hitting, right?
Nothing. It's really good against Gavany Township. Here, Vizier's on the screen. Sorry, guys. Yeah, chat was asking for it and we were too engrossed.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we just... We chill out here for a while.
Yes.
Uh...
Okay, make mana.
Make infinite mana.
Show him what you got.
Oh, here's a Cortical. Okay.
So now the game's over?
Now the game should be over.
So we go searching. Do not get Walking Ballista, by the way.
We find a Duskwatch.
He's gone past 2. Is he going for Viscera Seer? Okay. Did he take the Seer out? Where? Oh, there it is. Okay.
There we go.
So now we're gonna gate. But wait, Duskwatch is just a win.
He might not have the Duskwatch in his deck.
I saw him scroll past 2 Duskwatches.
Oh, well, then what are we doing?
You can make an arbitrarily large ballista, kill everything that Michael owns, and then him, because his worship won't matter.
Yeah. So Isaac's gonna get infinite life, but that doesn't matter right now.
I'm so confused. It's question mark because it's infinite, by the way.
I think it harkens back to a point that, we addressed earlier. Isaac may be very unfamiliar with this deck.
Yeah.
Which is, fair. Like, we both certainly made a punt there in our casting.
Yep.
Isaac
is going to cut the deck to something.
Yeah.
Okay, please cut it to Walking Ballista. If you cut it to Walking Ballista, you win the game.
Correct.
Because you draw Walking Ballista, and then you kill them.
Is Ballista still in the deck?
Yes, I saw it.
Okay.
Do not get Path.
Okay.
You put a Path
and
on
also
top.
something very... Did he get Pat?
What? Path Drowner. Sure. I just don't think this has to happen. They might go to time and draw the game.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's got to be like Isaac might be just unfamiliar with, not familiar with
Cut. There's a Duskwatch right there. There's another one.
Another thing that Isaac is forgetting to do is to activate Township.
Ewit. What is going on?
So he's trying to get rid of every creature.
But he could just get a Ballista.
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm not missing this, am I?
No. Yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, but it does seem like Isaac may be unfamiliar with the interaction of that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if Michael doesn't draw more creatures,
Michael's going to scoop it up.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to do. We're going to throw it back up to the booth just for some quick announcements. So the stream is sponsored by MTGCardMarket.com. We are a shop on the north side of Chicago off the Belmont Red Line stop. Thank you everyone who tuned in tonight. We really appreciate the support. Thanks to Gabby and the Viper Brood for coming in, kicking us up to a massive 250 viewers at one point. That was really great.
Yeah, apologies for the minor punts in round 4. Also,
It happens.
you know, one announcement that we like to make is this weekend here at MTG Card Market, they are having a team constructed event.
So Modern, Standard, and Legacy.
Yeah, more information is available on the website and the Facebook page. If you're interested in joining us next week, we'll be casting again, 7:30 on Wednesdays. But with that, it is getting late here, and we appreciate everyone for sticking around with us. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
We're going to wrap it up. Have a good night, everybody.